When I do the podcast for like the beta, I give myself 5 seconds at this point. I just thought I'd drag it out.
The longer you have, the better audacity performing. But anyway,
Yeah.
shall we?
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the UOW Digital Media Society podcast. I'm Alex Mastronati, the club treasurer.
I'm Kelsey Latham, the club secretary.
And I'm Sonny Commodore. I'm the events exec.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, to get started today with the podcast, Kelsey brought up an interesting thing in the news at the moment about social media laws.
So I was listening to the good old Triple J hack last night, and beautiful Tom Tilley let us know of the recent happenings. Basically, there was a news report on a current affair. I left that part out. But it was about how a girl applied for a job, and then she obviously didn't get the job, but then in the voicemail that the potential employer left on her phone, the employer forgot to hang up, so the message actually recorded them talking shit about the potential employee's like Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting because they had like a lawyer and stuff on, sort of saying that she had no grounds to sue or anything because they weren't discriminating against age, race, or gender.
Mm-hmm.
They were just saying that she took too many selfies and she looked like she did her like fake tan too much, and like she looked like a party girl because she had these tattoos and stuff. And they briefly mentioned that like social media and like technology is just surpassing what like the laws can handle. I thought that was really interesting because we're definitely having to like figure out a lot of things as we go, even with just our society, with figuring out like what we can and can't do on social media, and like trying to write up like rules without being like red tape.
Too explicit, yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought what you guys think.
Plenty of ways you can take that. For example, like government policy and stuff. Like, how much room do you give tech entrepreneurs? Like, we've been talking about Silicon Valley and stuff, and they have quite loose laws, and that's how you attract people to your area.
Yeah.
To start making innovations and stuff.
Same with investors.
Yeah, exactly.
The loose laws attract investors. So.
But then there's a line to walk on as well, because you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't have,
like things like customer privacy is like one thing that they can't be.
Even like gene experiments.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
pretty sure that's happening in China, but like,
Yeah.
that's, outlawed everywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like some things but that's an interesting one because it's like discrimination law.
Yeah.
Which is something that you don't come across much.
But it's not like...
Oh, you don't come across being a white male.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Anglo.
Yeah. But I thought it was like
Aryan.
interesting that they were talking about it in such like a weird like third person, like, oh, like, yeah, laws can't keep up, like, what are we going to do
That's what
about
I meant.
it?
Like discrimination laws aren't really associated with social media at the moment.
Yeah, but it's like, shouldn't it be? Like, shouldn't we be trying to figure that out? Because obviously it's affecting people. But then they have a bunch of people ring up and be like, oh yeah, I check out people's Facebook profiles before I hire them.
Yeah. Well, in the internship subject that I've just been doing, the professors like recommended just private the whole thing.
You reckon?
Yeah, like just private the whole thing, or just make a new one that is, like people have their just first and middle name or something. So
that's interesting to me because someone similar, I had a lecture with someone hiring. Yeah. And I asked them, isn't it weird if someone has zero digital footprint?
Yeah.
Because, for someone like me, it's like if someone doesn't have anything on their Facebook, I'm immediately suspicious. Like, what are they hiding?
But this didn't sound like they were like having a go at her for like her Facebook posts or anything. Yeah. It was literally like, oh, she took too many selfies, she has too many tattoos. Like, it was still based on her appearance and stuff that she can't hide and can't change. Yeah. So even if she'd walked into the room and been like, hi, I'm here for the job.
Yes, that's like a bit of a different
But it just sounds like they were using like social media as like sort of like, not a gatekeeper, but a way to go about that, which is really interesting.
But yeah, like having no digital footprint could be suspicious.
Yeah.
That's why you have like LinkedIn. That's very publicly
available.
But
then LinkedIn is such a curated version of yourself. Like, I literally only post on there stuff I like.
So is your Insta and your Facebook.
That's true, yeah.
But like
it's different audiences.
Different audiences. It's like those like circles of who see it.
So I've got my like Twitter wide open for anyone to look at because I want employees to look at it because I try not to like, because I know a lot of BCM students use it for both personal and academic use, whereas I like follow lots of other people on there, like sports related stuff, but I don't really like comment or interact with it because I want to keep it fully uni related. So I don't mind if employers see it, whereas like Facebook and Instagram, it's all like private.
Yeah.
But then LinkedIn's wide open as well. So it's kind of like if someone looks at my Facebook and like, oh, there's nothing there. If they find my LinkedIn, they'll be like, oh my God, there's heaps. So it maybe makes up for it. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like Very interesting. And it was funny that, like, Hack and a current affair and stuff, like, talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Seems
I'm just surprised Hack's taking something from a current affair. Like, what are the times change
It's
and all?
very funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2018 and we all love...
2018?
Is it 2019?
It's
man.
halfway through
Time's
2019.
moving way too fast.
In a couple of days, it's the 6th month.
Yeah, it's halfway through
Jeez.
2019.
Halfway through,
Sonny.
yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, well, I'm still reeling from the fact BuzzFeed is a legitimate journalism organisation.
Oh, good grief.
They did cut a lot
was
of...
it the Panama Papers they helped spill?
I have no idea.
Something like that.
Don't
but
follow it,
something
really.
massive. Speaking of, did you follow the Panama Papers at all?
No.
No.
Oh, well, basically, I don't want to butcher it too much, but
Yeah.
there was like this massive undertaking of like all these journalists across the world who like worked together to release this massive, you know, bundle of papers, kind of like WikiLeaks. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But this massive report on like the way money moves around the world and how rich people stay rich.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of illegal Cayman Island type stuff.
Yeah.
And basically it came out, and then a couple months later, people started dying in car bombs, and then
Oh, okay.
you don't hear about it anymore. So like obviously,
They don't want people to hear about that.
yeah, well, obviously the people in power are using it still. But
Yeah, yeah.
That was how everyone found out Jackie Chan had dodgy finances.
Wow.
Fun fact. Yeah,
Just from
apparently
that.
he's not much of a nice bloke.
Oh,
People
really?
don't like him over there.
Oh, interesting.
It's just in the West, people love Jackie Chan.
Because it's like movies or whatever.
Because yeah, he's a pretty good actor. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah, yeah.
I do rate his what do you call choreography? Yeah,
Yeah.
choreography.
Stunt
But
stuff.
apparently he's
Yeah.
like disowned his son or something. So
Oh.
I'm kind of going off topic here.
No,
but-
that's
That's
cool.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Because it's BuzzFeed to that.
But
Yeah.
did that come out like the same time as Julian Assange, or was that like different timeline?
This is after. I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
recent.
But
then.
has it come out recently now, or this was?
Oh, this is a while ago.
While
Yeah,
ago.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
Not exactly current affairs. How did we get here?
Yeah. I mean, we
How did we
could
get there?
talk about Julia Assange. That's timely.
Yeah, 'cause-
Yeah.
yeah, the whole embassy thing.
Yeah.
If I was him, I would have waited longer. Oh yeah, were you gonna brief the situation?
Well, I was
But
going to
wait,
say...
isn't he like sick or something? Isn't that why he came out?
No, the
No?
Ecuadorian government
kinda
just gave
kicked
him
him
up
out.
because
Yeah.
Ecuador, I believe this is what happened. They got new government,
Mm.
and the new government wasn't in favour of keeping
Just
him
didn't
in
like
their
him.
embassy, so they turned him over.
Mm.
Whereas, like the old Ecuadorian government had him in there for so long because they didn't mind.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of international relations and politics and strings being
Mm.
pulled and things like that behind.
But did you
scenes.
see? All the people in the embassy were getting annoyed at him as well.
Mm.
Like he was doing like
Skateboarding
skateboarding in the office, and he wouldn't change his clothes and have showers. Like he was getting real dirty. Apparently,
Just
Okay,
was
yeah.
Allegedly.
It could be propaganda too.
it could be
Who knows?
propaganda,
Oh.
but allegedly he was like, I don't know, he was never like changing his clothes, and it was really people didn't want to go in there because it smelled apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
So,
I'd be kind of annoyed if someone moved into my house and
Yeah.
sort of like
Yeah.
took up a room.
My
for
international
how many years.
house.
but there was actual footage of him skateboarding, so that's a thing.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah, and he had like a cat or a dog or something, and he wasn't taking care of it.
Oh.
So like it was getting neglected, and like the other people in the embassy
Yeah,
had to
right.
look after it. So people were getting annoyed at that. But then ScoMo said that he isn't going to do anything about it because people were like saying that he should bring him over to Australia because he's an Australian citizen,
Mm.
and ScoMo said no.
Well, what would we do with him?
Like,
Wouldn't we just hand him
Extradite him
over
to the US.
Yeah, I was gonna
no,
say, wouldn't we just
he-
get rid of him?
the people who wanted ScoMo to bring him over here was like bring him over here for safety reasons,
Oh,
like to
okay.
not extradite him. But
But ScoMo wouldn't get involved with that.
no,
Like,
because he
wouldn't-
wants to remain good relationship with US.
Remain.
That's what. Well, he
Yeah.
has a pretty good relationship with Trump.
which is
Did
terrifying.
you see that
Absolutely
Trump
terrifying.
congratulated him?
Absolutely
Yeah,
terrifying.
but-
Did you
Was
see
he the one he
tweet?
misnamed or?
No, he called him Scott.
Okay,
He's like,
Yeah.
congratulations,
Different one.
Scott. In Australia,
Congratulations,
or whatever.
Scott, for a powerful win in Australia or
On-
something
on
like
Yeah,
that.
right.
But yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, he would want to maintain that relationship, so he wouldn't get involved.
Yeah.
But he actually like came out and said he wasn't going to. So
Interesting.
he's probably destined for death or jail. So.
Yeah, he's going to disappear. At some
Yeah,
point.
he'll get sick and he'll get
Yeah.
sick, air quotation marks, sick and die.
Yeah, because
probably.
how old is he? I didn't think he was that
He's
old.
like he looks.
But when he came out, I
He's-
think he
he's
looked
got white
like
hair, so
Yeah.
it's kinda
100.
difficult,
yeah. Apparently he's not that old though. Like that's
Mm.
the thing. Like he looks way older than he actually is because he's been,
stressed.
He's been pretty.
Yeah,
He's probably not healthy.
it's one way to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 10 hours ago, he's been moved to the hospital wing of the Belmarsh prison.
No, it didn't take
Yeah.
long. Fuck that.
No, they're already trying to get rid of him.
But this is like literally, we're calling it, hey, like,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Well, that's the thing because like they could just come out and say he got sick and
Okay,
died.
final guesses. How old do you think he is?
50.
How old?
35.
47.
47.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
guess.
No, it's not that bad. But like he looks like he's about in his 60s.
Yeah, it's the beard, hey.
Yeah,
just
like he looks
really
like an old dude.
And then also I think I have in my head the actor that played him in that movie as well.
Oh,
There was an
okay,
actor that
yeah.
played him?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, because what's the movie called where it's about...
Was it the
I'm telling the
telemovie
story.
one? It was like in 3 parts.
Well, you're not thinking of Snowden, that movie.
Oh!
That's about
Ed Snowden.
That's about
Eddie
Edward
Boy.
Snowden.
But
yeah.
Ed
isn't
Boy.
he
Yeah.
have a little bit of a dabble in there?
Well, they collaborated,
Yeah, it was like Che Guevara and what's his name?
and Edward
Joseph
Snowden.
Castro.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Castro.
Jesus, Castro.
Castro, yeah. Yeah, well, because Edward Snowden was a bit beforehand, I think, all the assigned stuff.
I thought they were like
Same person.
topic area but different.
Kind of, because Edward Snowden he worked for the CIA and he exposed all their stuff they were doing.
Maybe that's why I was really confused. Because like, damn,
There's a
he looks
movie
really
about
different.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Joseph
it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, but surely Assange, he's like the star.
Of
I
what?
suppose
Star
Snowden
of
has, Snowden, you wouldn't want to compare him like that.
Yeah, no, the movie was just about him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting of that as well.
Very
In
interesting.
terms of his whistleblowing and stuff isn't protected either yet. So like that's been going on for years now.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
it's funny. People claim to protect whistleblowers and then,
Throwing him under the bus now.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
like,
uh,
the internet isn't as free and open as you think it is
Oh.
because
Even like I think the first time it really hit me was even just a couple of weeks ago when I went home and was just like, oh haha lol, 4chan's been blocked, and then actually tried to go on it and
You can't get on
you
it.
just can't get on it
Yeah.
anymore.
Can you VPN?
yeah, you
Well, I
can
don't,
VPN.
yeah, but I don't have
Okay.
a VPN.
Yeah.
You can also use the uni Wi-Fi to get on it because the uni isn't with any of.
Isn't classified under...
No, it's
Yeah, 'cause it's like,
using
yeah,
its own domains. and
education.
stuff.
Oh, it's
I
not.
see, yeah.
It's using its
I
own
do.
servers and stuff
Oh,
because it's
right.
only blocked by Telstra Optus.
That's what I mean because yeah,
it's
but
the,
it's not blocked on
Interesting.
It's
yeah.
the ISPs.
Vodafone, but
Yeah.
it's blocked on my home
and
network.
it, on like Dodo as well.
Do
I think.
universities have their own ISPs? Or are they like...
Well,
Is there a special university ISP?
They
or-
must be because it isn't blocking it.
Mm.
Because otherwise, how would they put in their own? Like, do schools have their own? 'Cause how
Schools
do you
are
put in
under
your
some
own filters and
education
stuff?
thing.
Yeah, because it's at EDU.
Yeah, schools
Or
are under
.edu,
something
sorry,
like that.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the uni has something because they would require like huge amount. Well, have you ever done a speed test of uni's internet? It's so fast for
Yeah,
Australian
but then
internet.
you go in the library or like building one, and it's just not.
Yeah,
there's
but
so many
like,
people on
if
it.
you went into the library when it was empty, I'm sure
You'd
it'd be a different
notice.
story.
Yeah.
Well, that's just traffic.
Minus the dead spots. But
Yeah.
like,
For Australian standards, the uni has really good
Yeah.
internet. So they must have their own like
Yeah.
ISP or something like that.
Surely.
But yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, backtracking for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Back to like the internet not being as free a place as we thought.
Yeah, yeah.
There's that law in New Zealand you were talking about earlier.
Alex, you talking about?
Law in
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
Which
after
one?
the shootings in New Zealand,
Oh.
they're trying to
Oh,
push through that law.
that's here in Australia.
Oh, it's
That's not in
here
New
now?
Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, because they allegedly it was because he was an Australian citizen,
Mhm.
so that's why Australian government was
Yeah.
trying to push that through.
Okay, so what are the details on that?
So it's basically it came out like a day after or around about the time of the Christchurch shooting, and it's got to do with Callum knows heaps about it, so it'd be great to have him here. But it's got a title, like it's got a name, the law, and it's something to do with like. It's got the name of it like explains it, but it's something to do with like posting stuff online. It's something to like
make people liable for what they post. Basically.
yeah, like some warfare. Like there's a name in there somewhere. That's but basically it's rushed through Parliament.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, sorry, the lights just went out. It spooked.
Yeah,
Hell
heads
out
up.
of me.
We're just gonna get up and
Yeah,
Oh, I think it's
you good.
a sensor light. We're just in the corner for too long.
Is that actually?
Walk near the door. Yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No. Spooky.
Side note: isn't it funny Callum's not here, and we just talk about all his specialties like
Yeah, I
international
know.
relations?
Oh,
I
I'm
know,
so
right?
sorry, Callum. And then the lights turn out, so
Yeah.
maybe he is here.
He's here in spirit.
That wasn't the one I was talking about. So Kelsey's just looked up New Zealand gun laws passed
Well, law.
one
so
day
it was
after.
like internet.
It was
That's different, yeah.
It was Australian.
Making it illegal to leave.
Yeah. Second one.
But that's another thing. They've had all the troll stuff on Twitter recently, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of been in the
It's
spotlight.
falling under the same sort of
yeah.
thing.
Collateral censorship.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
You can make an algorithm.
Yeah, it's basically like holding the social media companies liable as well for.
Oh, the company's liable.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Like, if the companies don't take it down with the new law, they'll get fined and stuff.
Okay.
But that's really hard because
Yeah, it's a whole can of worms, isn't it?
Because, like, yeah, this is an Australian law, but like social media isn't just in Australia, so it's the reason. Like, I'm sure that they could nut out and all these issues and like fix them. Like, you know, how does it work if it's in Australia, whatever. But the fact is that they put it through Parliament like really quickly. So like, how would they have time to assess these different things? That was the big hoo-ha about it, not the fact that it is bad or like it's a bad law or anything. The fact that they didn't, it was too quick. Like it felt like, well, it was actually very interesting. Me and Callum were talking to Chris today, Christopher Moore. Don't want to get into too much detail about it, but that felt like just a reaction. Putting that through Parliament, like it's like saves face.
Is it a reaction, or is it someone was planning it and waiting for an opportunity to put it through?
It says here like new laws that would make it illegal for social media companies to leave videos filmed by terrorists on their sites after being drafted by are being drafted by the federal government after the Christchurch shootings. Through debate about social media regulation into spotlight. So it's saying like it's making it illegal to post violent videos on Facebook, which like there like, mustn't have been explicit laws.
But my question is, so they chased the company for this or the user that posted it? Because
when I was reading about it, the companies would be held liable at some point of the process.
Oh, here's a good quote, sorry. He said it is unacceptable to treat the internet as an ungoverned space.
Is that what?
That's what the Japanese Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe...
Which, in theory, maybe, yes, it is bad to leave it as that. But the way it works, it kind of, like, you can't govern it, really.
You know, I kind of like the idea of having a wild, wild west.
Yeah, that's the whole...
accessible, you know.
Wild, wild web.
Yeah.
World Wild Web.
Yeah, right.
But, like, if you, like, monitor and you limit, like, one side of the internet, like, it's got to be a spectrum. There's got to be, like, some, like, sort of subjectivity to it, because otherwise you're just going to filter everything, and then it's just going to take us right back to closed networks. That's just not... That
was the problem with it.
But there was a problem with Facebook letting that live stream stay up for so long.
Yeah.
Like if people aren't aware, like the massacre was live streamed by the shooter.
And like the way live streams
work, and it stayed up for 2 hours.
When you tune in on your feed, it drops straight into where it currently is. Yeah. So if you're just scrolling down, you cop a face full of, you know.
And then Twitter changed a bunch of stuff as well, because even when it just happened, I was scrolling down Twitter and videos were auto-playing, and now they've changed it so like you don't even have an option for autoplay. Really? I don't think.
Yeah, or it's something like if it detects explicit content,
it just automatically filters.
It won't.
It.
Yeah, right.
But it got let through so many things because it just looked like a video game.
But Twitter was pretty quick to crack down on removing stuff. YouTube, I think, was pretty quick.
Oh, I still don't know. It was a couple of hours after I was still finding videos.
DCMA?
Yeah, YouTube, I don't think had much after a while. But yeah, Twitter had definitely a couple of hours, but Facebook was, I think, the longest.
Yeah.
I think, anyway.
YouTube was definitely getting the reposts and Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But YouTube has those algorithms that can
automatically... They're pretty quick to get rid of stuff on YouTube, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it was up for very long on YouTube.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a monumental task hammering down wherever that pops up, because, you know, you take one down, another one pops up.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that they should be taking that down. But in terms of, like, policing it with an Australian law and punishing the companies, like, it's just too many dynamics to that.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that people had problems with, really.
Yeah, but then how do you hold... You know, if you can't hold the company liable, who do you hold?
Exactly. Because you can just ban the user, but what's that going to do?
If you start chasing users, then that means you need the company to keep track of the users. Yeah, and then you're going to put your license in when you start a profile with Twitter. Like, no thanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. Like, when me, Meg, and Callum went to that cybersecurity panel, was that this year? That was early this year, yeah. They had a whole segment about the new law. I can't remember what it's called. The AA bill.
Metadata one?
Yeah, the AA bill. Yeah, the one where the government can pose an injunction on companies to, like...
the backdoor one.
Like, locate... If the government says, like, you have to give us this person's data, they have to comply to a certain point, but they need to, there was a government official there on the day, and he was, like, explaining it, because it's legislation is really formal and full on. He was basically saying there's, like, a lot of criteria that has to be met before the government can go in and say, look, we need this data. So he was trying to make it clear that they couldn't just have what they wanted.
Yeah, I'm always a bit skeptical of that though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you look at the I think it was the health record one. That was last
My health
year.
record,
If you didn't opt out, now it's too late to
It's too
opt
late,
out.
yeah.
So they've got a permanent record. And like I like the idea of having a record that follows you around so you can see like if someone's been at a previous doctor and what they thought, etc. But then at the same time, if the police can access that...
or employers too.
But
employers?
I think like...
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way. There'd be a way.
Oh, yeah. Like, that's the thing. If you have a mate who's in the police, it's like, do me a favour and check this person.
Yeah.
But even just for dirt on people, like, if I was getting in politics and I happen to have like a mental breakdown, I'm not saying I have, but then someone could dig that up, I'm sure it'd just be a short favour with... Because there's a lot of agencies with access to that.
Well, I'm not going to mention who because I don't want any of this information getting out there, but I just know a certain individual who works a certain position in a job, and they purposely they opted out because they know that no matter what their health record is, like they're not unhealthy or anything, but they don't want anybody to be able to access that because it could hinder their current job. Like that could get them they could lose the job eventually. Like, I mean, like that,
like you can see that translate into almost any technology that's coming out. Like they say that, well, we know what metadata is, and people get so freaked out by metadata when it's just numbers and stuff.
But that's an explicit admitting to keeping a record. So
but when it's the Australian government and it's like it's sort of
when you have enough of those numbers, it adds up to a big thing. Like I think it's reasonable to get freaked out.
But that's
there's a difference between like mapping like what your country might need and then just like monitoring people, which like I understand, but a lot of it is fear mongering. Like when my pop, who's like 80, is like worried about his medical data being on the internet because he doesn't know what the internet is. Like that sort of stuff. It's like, well, no, like you're in Queensland, you've come to Wollongong, like go to the doctors here, they can see what medications you're on, blah blah blah. But then you go on current affair, everyone's like, blah.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
where's
the fact that you could opt out of it? It's great. Just opt out.
But then it's gone now, is it?
It's too late now.
Yeah, you can't opt out anymore.
It was like you had till end of January or something. But yeah, like I'm not saying the government's doing anything, but it's always like smart to be mindful.
I think it'd just be like a third party thing as well, like anything.
Well, that's the thing on that panel. Like there was a few people on the panel there that were just like entrepreneurs, like they own cybersecurity companies or tech companies, and they were saying that they have to move overseas now because of that AA bill, because the investors don't want to invest anymore. Then they don't want to have anything to do with that. Like they would rather go and invest elsewhere because there isn't a law like that. So it's like weighing up whether the government wants the ability to do that for whatever reason, or do they want investors to keep coming here and growing the economy. So
I like feel like it just all ties back into the idea that like there's still this understanding that we need to update our laws to cover these sort of things. But it's all being done in, as you said, like rushed. It's just being rushed.
Yeah, because it's trying to keep up, but when it comes to like legislations that have so many dynamics, can't really rush it.
And then that's the thing. You don't want to botch it and do something that's too heavy-handed or not enough. But then how do you keep up when things are getting patched every day?
Yeah. It's like today, like Chris said in our Future Cultures seminar, that we're experiencing a rate of change double to what our parents did and quadruple to what our grandparents did, and our kids double what we did, and so on and so on. Like it's rapidly getting faster and faster.
It makes you wonder. Like I know we already have the skills, like we grew up learning how to use technology, right? But you look at our parents and like some of them can't use a mouse. So what happens?
Quite good, but yeah.
Granted, that's true. But then think about if we get out of the game for 5 years and we come back. Then what are we going to be at the point our parents are at? Because it's as you said, it's exponential. So
it is.
It's going to be at one point, maybe, I don't know.
I think maybe there's I've thought about that as well. I think it's a possibility, but I think, as you said, we've grown up with a higher degree of technology. Because if you think, like, our parents, what was the most they had? Was a computer, maybe like a really old game console.
Like adulthood computer.
I'm just
never grew up with anything.
When they were kids, like they might have just had like the most
Apple,
basic
Apple
Commodore 64 and stuff. Like
I'm more terrified for like the like generations below us now that are growing up with it, that then what if there's a point where apocalypse, like huge thing happens? Like, where's the sort of...
Yeah, it's funny too, because we're on the cusp. We're on the...
We've shown that we can adapt to one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we
we've
sort of
picked, but they haven't really had a decision.
Yeah,
They're
we grew up
straight
with
into
dial-up and they grew up with Wi-Fi, you know?
Yeah.
There's that difference
And
there.
I've got like a cousin that's under 2 years old, and he doesn't use a phone. He doesn't go anywhere near it, but I can have my phone in front of me and he can start pointing his index finger at the phone. It's like, you haven't even had an interaction with this.
Yeah.
Yet you can absorb
Well, I know,
that information.
I know someone who's got like kids, and their kids are in like primary school, or not even like whatever, like kindergarten and all that, like that kind of
Like
range.
under 5.
Yeah, they're doing like coding in like kindy.
Granted, it's much different to the way.
Oh yeah,
You're
it's like
learning.
games. It's like games
Yeah,
coding,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
like the end
It's
result
translated
of
into-
the game is that they're coding stuff.
I think it's a
Wow.
good idea though, because
I
that's,
think
that's
so.
what the jobs are going to be.
Yeah,
surely.
yeah, they're training
Unless
up
we get
early.
AI to code, which is a whole
Another kettle of
idea
fish.
of that, but yeah, someone's got to code the AI though.
Yeah.
So there's always
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I thought you were gonna bring up climate change.
With what?
When you were talking about like
Worried for
the
us.
kids and stuff.
Well, like, I mean, it can always pay back into that. Like,
What's your perspective on like climate change?
oh, it's full on. I answered a questionnaire, like like today or yesterday, and it was just like about another thing. Oh, it was so you know when you did the compass to figure out like who you should vote for the
Yeah.
federal, like they did like a follow up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, how are you feeling after whatever? And some of the questions in there were like, what's your best answer? And one of them was like, do you think the Earth is getting warmer? And if so, like why? And it was like oh, natural causes, like we're doing it or whatever. And like immediately, obviously clicked we're doing it because, like I'm sorry, like we're doing it. And then I just had a moment of like, do people genuinely think that we haven't had a direct
Role in it? Yeah.
Because everything is trackable right back to like when we started industrializing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because my opinion of it is that it's not all us. Because the Earth's gone through this before, just not to this extent. Or maybe it has, I don't know. But in the sense that like the Earth's gone through this stuff before, where it's like shifted between temperatures and it's adapted to it, like it's evolved. But obviously, like the past however many years, humans have been contributing to that. You don't know.
Do you think it's just accelerating it? Is that probably what...
I don't know whether it's accelerating it, making it worse,
I'd say it's pushing it way before where it was going to go.
Yeah,
But,
like I'm sure it's having something to do with it.
Like, I understand there's a natural ebb and flow of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
call me a cynic, but it's definitely us, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But,
I'm not denying that. I just don't think that if we didn't do anything, it'd still happen. Just it would happen differently. It might happen worse. It might happen faster. I don't know what would happen differently. I just think it would happen differently. So I just think people sometimes remember. Obviously, we have to do something because what's happening now with the environment is terrible. But like, the Earth is going to, it's happening. It happens before.
Yeah. Call me a cynic, but I think at this point, to put it lightly, we're genuinely fucked. And there's no real way out of this without a massive adjustment to the way the population lives.
The whole 12 years.
In our lifetime, I think, meat, for example, it's going to be a lot different, like farming, etc. And obviously grass is still going to grow, but we're going to lose a large portion of the animal life on Earth. And we're going to go through, I'd say, call it mass extinction. Lose a lot of large animals. It'll be like, when the dinosaurs died out, all the small little mammals and stuff survived and sort of built their way back up. But
it's kind of like that. That's the thing.
We're going to go through something like that. And then the ozone layer.
If we didn't do anything with that, that wouldn't have happened. But are we going to be living underground like imps and stuff and just get heaps white skin? Well, that's the thing. Because we contributed to that. All those animals. And
but
stuff.
I don't think humans are going to die out, so to speak.
No,
but life is going to change a lot. And there's going to be a lot of fighting over what resources are left. Not to sound like one of those apocalypse preppers, but things are changing a lot. That's definitely a factor.
And the sad thing is that people can start doing stuff about it now. Like people in actual power can start doing stuff about it now, and they don't.
Well, I think that's why it's dangerous to say that obviously how you've worded it is I agree completely. But I think it's a cop out
people who are like, we can't fix it anyway.
Can't fix it anyway.
Coming all the way back. I think the rise of like identity politics and the fact everyone's very tribal about things.
Oh.
It doesn't matter if something is right. Is it right for us to win?
Yeah.
So to speak.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
So, you can have sort of cognitive dissonance between accepting maybe the science is true.
Yeah.
But maybe you have to disown that in order...
Yeah.
People do a lot of mental gymnastics to make sure that their beliefs align with their party, so to speak.
Well, it goes back to that the reactionary government thing. Does Labor really care about climate change, or are they just bringing the policies in to make Liberal look bad?
Yeah, and then it sort of gets to the point where it's like, well, even if they are just doing that to save face, then it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's just a big cycle. Because, like Tony Abbott doesn't believe in it or whatever. And then Labor spun that on him for a long time. Yeah. Was that just to get him out? Or is that because they genuinely are passionate about it? You don't know. But as you said, like, it's probably good that they do something about it at all. Yeah.
I don't like the discourse that's like, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
like, because we can. And I like that idea that, like, it's not 100 people doing this thing perfectly. It's thousands and thousands of people doing it imperfectly. And it's like that. Well, that conscious effort.
One thing that really annoyed me was when the Notre Dame church got on fire. There was like one dude who donated like an obscene amount of money, and somebody did a calculation, and if that one person donated that money to this certain organization, they could have cleaned up like a certain amount of garbage in the sea. Yeah. It was like a huge percentage of the garbage in the ocean that's just floating there. That amount of money for the church could have cleaned all that up. Why? Like, I know it's a cultural thing, like, but there was.
I feel like that goes without saying. Like, you know that you can tell why.
I can tell why they did it, but like, there was all this other money coming in for it too. Why can't? But the great thing about that is that somebody else saw that and they were rich and they did donate a certain amount of money to this environmental cause.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the yellow vest thing's still going in France as well.
Yeah,
and on that weekend, people were not happy.
There's the lights again. Good. Oh, people weren't happy. Yeah,
but yeah, that's the whole thing. That's part of that movement. Yeah, lost me train of thought. Sorry, without the lights,
that's right.
A bit difficult.
It's a bit, yeah.
No, somebody did.
Oh. See up the mood, yeah.
What's up?
Oh, the sensor, yeah.
I thought you were pointing at someone at the door.
Yes, I was freaking out.
Sorry, for context, we're in this abandoned room in the middle, like, really late at night at the university. So, like, it's like prime for a haunting, you know?
Yeah. But no, somebody did get a bit, some rich person did get a bit angry at the fact that they were doing all this money. So they donated some money to the environment. So despite certain people not doing it, it made other people do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And do you remember what your train of thought was?
No, I lost that one. Happy to reset.
That's right. Yeah, no, I just think, people need to start doing some more stuff. Like, I don't know, I like animals and stuff. I don't want them to die.
I like animals too. I think, like, we are so lucky in this, like, to get all wholesome. I know, Sonny, you'll back me up on this. Like, we are so lucky to be where we are. Yeah. Like, literally in a place where we have, like, such access to information and knowledge and the power to actually make a difference. Like, as much as I don't like the socialists on campus and whatever, at least they're, I don't know, spending their time doing something like they see as proactive for society, whether it's not or not.
Born too late to explore the Earth, born too early to explore Mars, but born just in time to explore dank memes and the fall of humanity.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. And to, like, enjoy movies like The Matrix and, like, dystopian futures like Metropolis and all that stuff, being like...
Yeah, and whether or not...
we're like, oh, that's so crazy. Like, that could never happen.
No, what if we are in the simulation?
We're in the simulation. We are in it.
All right, Joe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just, like... It's so funny. Like, I went on Reddit today during the screening of The Matrix in 325, and like one of the people from like 20 hours ago on the thread of The Matrix, on the subreddit Matrix, someone's like, "Oh my god, I just realized I'm living in the simulation. I'm 20 years old and I just realized that I have a purpose or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh,
I just turned 16. I realized it's a simulation."
Yeah, but I just was funny that, like, But anyway, I mean, it could be. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. Yeah, I do love a good conspiracy theory.
I saw a good meme the other day. It was, maths makes perfect sense, right? It's a language of how everything works. Yeah. What if it's just the programming of the simulation?
Oh, that's
and I'm
so
sure
good.
there's perfectly good reasons that maths does work, because, it works for a reason.
It does. Like, have you ever thought about that? Like,
it works very perfectly.
Yeah, have you ever thought about, like, why is 2 + 2 = 4? Like, how does that work so well?
Don't give me that 1984 business.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, it works really well, and I have a lot of respect for people. Like, first of all, who came up with maths.
Oh,
Like, naturally you would, but like,
do you think we invented maths though?
Yeah, it's more like discovering something, isn't it? Because I don't want to get too trippy, but like the old Fibonacci,
that
stuff
stuff is
like that,
crazy.
And but they could have, because obviously when you think about it in your head, like numbers is just so crazy, like the fact that they invented maths and stuff. But then if you had like a physical representation, it would make sense. Like back in olden days,
like one rock and one rock. And
exactly, they're like, oh my god, it makes two. Like that makes more sense thinking about it like that.
Yeah.
But what are some other good conspiracy theories?
Oofed.
Okay, I got one debunked by Chris.
Debunked.
Yeah, so I for a while was a bit of a believer that the US faked the moon landing.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever I have a conspiracy theory, you always got to think of like, because some conspiracy theories make sense with people's evidence, in air quotations again, evidence, but then you got to think of like, why would they do it? Whereas like, I had reasons to believe why the US did fake the moon landing.
Yeah, because the space race.
Space race, they wanted to win.
You wanted to win, yeah.
Yeah, so you do any means necessary to win.
100% agree with the idea. My, not motto, when it comes to like critical thinking, I think if you follow the money, or like
that's it.
Substitute money for influence, same thing.
Power, whatever it is. Yeah,
but you follow that trail, and then that'll lead you to the logical intention. I think it's someone's razor, Hamlin's razor or something, but it's the most likely reason for something happening is basically probably what it is.
Yeah,
90% of the time.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because like that was my reasoning, is that the US wanted to win the space race, so they're going to fake it if they have to. And there was a lot of like other evidence that played into it, so it made me believe it more. But then Chris had all this other evidence to say it wasn't. So because I was more than happy to like, I'm never like one to be like, oh no, I'm right. Like of course it is. Like if there's actual people proving me wrong, then that's great, because I want to know. So yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was a lot of like really technical stuff. It's on my Twitter back when we watched Space Odyssey in 325. There was a lot of stuff about it then, and he basically debunked it. Like, I now don't believe, just because he can't prove me. But there's a couple others. Like there was one about, there's one where in Germany, like in Canberra we've got like Parliament House in Germany, it burnt down just before the Nazi Party took over, and there was a massive conspiracy theory that they did it to put themselves in power, because basically as soon as the Parliament building burnt down, once everybody was like, oh my god, it's terrible, the Nazi Party was like, look, this country's going this way, this happened, the Parliament building burned down, we'll take over now. And they did. And they reckon that they got I think it was a disabled guy to do it, to light the fire, and then like frame him, like scapegoat him kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there was this big investigation into it. Like people saw Nazi soldiers like going through the tunnels underneath the Parliament building, because there's like an escape tunnel or something for the politicians. Saw them going through there with like torches and stuff like that. But that makes sense, because they got power out of it. That was like just before all the war stuff happened.
Like coming back to what you like said, Sonny, like do you think that if it's like got a believable sort of, I don't know, fuel,
I'm not saying
it's
like, 100% true every time.
Yeah, but it's a good
indication.
Follow the trail of money, and it leads to someone's fat pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, leading on to another conspiracy theory.
I've got a good one too, actually, but
I was going to say 9/11.
That's one of them.
Back.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
But
it's a risky one to talk about. But
yeah, there's a whole Michael Moore Fahrenheit 9/11. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Michael Moore. He was
no.
He was the guy behind the Columbine Bowling for Columbine. Yeah.
What was that?
Bowling for Columbine. It was a documentary.
Okay.
About the two shooters.
Shooting. Yeah.
And it obviously he framed it very strongly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't agree with the framing. But regardless, it did shine a light on the situation. Anyway, so he did this other one called Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah.
And it was all about Bush's connections with the Saudis and all that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The way, they invaded a country that didn't really have much to do with it.
Yeah.
It was an excuse to invade a country.
To get
and
oil.
The fact Osama bin Laden is obviously related to the Saudi royal family, I believe it was. Don't quote me and don't execute me.
Yeah.
But that's entirely believable for me, because once you connect the dots, it seems to make sense,
Yeah, because they got to invade Iraq, and there was untapped oil potential there.
Yeah.
and there's that meme about US soldiers and the oil. Have you seen that? Like,
Which one?
It's like, oh, there's heaps, but yeah, the meme about that. But you think like, oh, why would they murder like thousands and thousands of people? And it's like, well, the US is a population of 300 million odd, whatever it is.
It's for the great
couple thousand. That's like what 0.0 of the population.
Yeah.
Equating that into the monetary gain from them doing it.
Oh, and then even just like, I don't know, like the cultural sort of like shockwave that it can put out. Like everyone just feels this immense amount of empathy or
and
produced sympathy for this country that does kill thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in a war.
Yeah. So it can make the country more powerful as well. They're like, oh my god, the government needs to unite and help us. And
it's like a way of like gaining like
it's like power as well.
Yeah, it's like hard power. So hard power is through like the use of war and actual military power and stuff, but without having to actually exude that. So I feel like that's a really interesting...
Yeah, but that's just the power play into it, like, while they do it kind of thing. But then you look at all the other evidence, evidence again in quotations, you don't know if it's evidence or not, but the other, like, speculations, like, for example, the fuel, the steel beams, can't melt steel beams, like that, and the fact that the one that crashed into the Pentagon didn't actually crash, and all that sort of stuff. Like the hole in the building didn't equate to the size of the plane, and all that sort of stuff. There's definitely like, claims that I can look at and look at them and be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I think with anything, like, it's just as well trying to put myself in a position where if someone was speculating about a disaster that happened in Australia, whether I would appreciate people sort of saying, oh, that's a conspiracy. Because there are things about Martin Place, and I'm sure things will come up about Christchurch and Port Arthur as well. Like,
I was going to bring up Port Arthur.
Yeah, people think that was orchestrated just to be able to have a reason to abolish the gun laws and stuff, like air quotations again. But
see, that's interesting, because, like, we talked about this again today. What, like... Was John Howard enacting the gun law after Port Arthur just the reactionary thing again to save face? Why?
And it's just worked out in our favour.
If he was so passionate about it, why didn't he do it before that? Or does maybe it doesn't work unless there is something like that?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say there'd be a lot more.
Yeah,
a lot more.
So is he that passionate about it that he'd get a trained killer to do that?
Yeah, but again, I know there's a lot of
that one's harder.
There's people in charge of risk management and stuff, but
that one's much harder. I don't
think were there any mass shootings in Australia before that?
I don't think mass shootings,
it might have not been on the map at all.
Yeah, like, there was like murders.
It's definitely like I don't know if it's...
Well, there's been not mass shootings, but there's been shootings.
Oh, there's plenty of shootings. Yeah, well, even like gangs and stuff now. It's still a thing. I mean,
because like there was
Tracy Grimshaw will have you believe there's more, but like it's a thing.
Yeah, but no, there's like don't quote me on this one, but there was like an incident in like Country Town in a farm. A guy had licensed farm weapons. Rifles and stuff for killing pests. He murdered his family, apparently, like, with those licensed guns. So it still happens. But, yeah, I mean, that Port Arthur's an interesting one because, you can't link as much what's the gain other than they wanted to make gun laws. Because you can just think they could do that anyway.
That's why I throw that one straight in the trash, personally. Like,
yeah, I do in the terms of that reasoning. But then looking at, like, other evidence, it makes you think. I don't know, like, I'm not saying... I don't think it is either, personally. I think that was just an actual thing that happened because of the fact that while they do it, like, if they wanted to change the gun laws that bad, they could have... Surely they didn't have to resort to killing the people just to do that. But you look at the things about, like, how there was, like, precise shots from an untrained gunman, in such a small environment. And the fact that the government's never done an inquiry into Port Arthur, that's something that makes me think, because the reasoning behind they're not doing an inquiry into Port Arthur is because they don't want the families to have to go through that again. But they've already done an inquiry at the Lint Cafe, and that brought up... Did you see some guy who one of the officers who worked for New South Wales Police, after the inquiry about Lint Cafe, he's suing the New South Wales Police.
Yeah, that was one of the snipers, I believe.
Yeah, because he
couldn't take the shot.
He wasn't allowed to take the shot, and he could have saved those people that died. But that's the only reason that's happened is because they've done an inquiry. So I'm not saying that the government did Port Arthur, but I'm saying why can't they do an inquiry about it? It's been that long.
But things have probably changed since then as well. Like maybe they weren't forced to do an inquiry at the time.
Yeah, but were they forced to do the Lint Cafe one?
there's probably more people asking questions.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I think, as well, you can sort of correlate it to, like, what its coverage was as well. Like, I was at home watching live footage of people being stuck in a building in Sydney, and that was like...
Well, I'm sure when Port Arthur happened, it was the biggest thing.
But they wouldn't have... Would they have had...
They weren't
televised.
No,
this was like live stream and stuff.
Because it was like afterwards, but in terms of like the backlash...
So maybe like the process of like inquiries and law reform and stuff is faster now because we have this like extremely fast OODA loop of just, hey, this is crap, you need to change this. And then the government being like, oh yeah, maybe. And then having to show... like track their progress because we're all monitoring it so highly. Yeah.
I just think as well, like, I don't know, I didn't really see much like buzz about people getting annoyed at Link Cafe situation and wanting an inquiry, whereas so many people are calling for Port Arthur inquiry.
That is the sort of base of the, what would I call it? The people calling for relaxed gun laws though. So Link Cafe was a lot different because there's no what do you call that? Leverage can be gained from it, really. Everyone agrees there was shit and you shouldn't touch it because, that makes you a terrible person, obviously.
People who were trying to use, like, Port Arthur as an inquiry to, like do that, like, get the gun laws looser, I don't agree, like, I don't personally think that should be. Yeah.
Not shooting shots at you, don't worry.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah. That was a good pun.
Sorry, I didn't mean that at all.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, no, I just meant, like... I don't know, like, I feel like people are asking more questions about it, so...
Well, I think, like, the bottom line is, like, asking questions is always, like, a good thing if you have the right intention behind it as well.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not asking questions just to be like, well, I want to make hundreds of families feel uncomfortable again, or, like, have them have to redo the mourning process, like...
Yeah, but, like, if that's their only reasoning, then what stopped them from the Lint Cafe? Like, can they be a bit more transparent about what went into that decision-making? Because if they came out and said, like, we did this big analysis and it would do more harm than good for this, but it wouldn't have done more harm than good for Lint Cafe. Then,
someone like use that to their advantage?
Exactly.
You reckon they'd analyse that? Like some psycho would literally analyse it and be like, well, I can do this and move here and do that.
Yeah, that's another question too.
Yeah, exactly.
The more information you release, does that put you in a worse position?
Yeah.
And not even if you did something wrong. It's just like people are going to go out there and make false connections, possibly like we've been doing.
And like, never know, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how much do you want to release to the public?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they can be a little bit more transparent about the intentions, then maybe that would help.
Yeah, I think that's a really key point.
Because you've even got prominent political figures wanting Port Arthur inquiry. Pauline Hanson, she shot herself in the foot so badly with that. She couldn't answer any. Oh yeah, again, she couldn't answer any questions about it.
I think that just ties back into like the whole reactionary thing. Like politicians just say stuff to like get a reaction and get that traction.
And
Fraser Anning, like
I don't even want to talk.
We can't talk about that. Like it's just.
I don't want to talk about him. Yeah, but even as you said, the whole gun laws thing. One Nation was probably involved in that a lot. So maybe...
how funny was that Al Jazeera thing?
Oh, yeah.
And then...
the disguise, whatever.
Yeah, well...
He was a...
Quick recap,
the American Gun Association.
Yeah, they were posing as NRA.
Yeah, NRA,
and then, like, they were talking with One Nation about, like, sort of getting their way into Australian politics.
Whoa.
To relax our gun laws.
Yeah.
Little did the One Nation representative know that that was, like, a reporter.
Yeah, it was like...
It was a giant stitch up, basically.
Just to get the proof that they were
okay to be coerced like that.
Yeah. Which is what I was about to lead on to. I think the whole reason Pauline Hanson wanted an inquiry into Port Arthur was because of that.
What, to shift focus or to...
leverage that.
For NRA money.
Yeah.
It comes back.
Yeah, like, because if they expose Port Arthur as being sod or whatever, then they could use that as leverage to be like, oh, well, we shouldn't have made the gun laws this strict because it was fake.
Reform.
Yeah. So that's exactly as you said.
And then if you connect the dots even further, NRA was infiltrated by Russians looking to split the US into, lots of factions. So then you can track that all the way to the top. And
wow.
Who's run the puppet show,
Exactly. So is it the Illuminati? Is it the simulation? You don't know. Yeah. But no, there was a few other people that had, like other political people in Australia that were asking questions that I thought that were legitimate, but then as you linked it back to they could just be leveraging it.
Yeah.
But there was a few actual reports that got leaked as well from the police not long ago as well when it was big about it. Like the cafe owner at the gift shop or whatever, or the cafe where Port Arthur, the one that the shooter went into, the owner, he said that he knew the guy that did it, and something about like he said his name and it was a different guy. Like the guy that, like, he knew the shooter, in quotations again, the guy that got arrested, he knew that guy, and he said the guy on the day that was doing the shooting wasn't actually him.
Gosh.
And that was like a police statement, like New South Wales police official document.
Yeah.
So then again, there's some interesting stuff there.
Well,
moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Covering conspiracy theories.
Oh, there's a more fun conspiracy theory. Oh, like people still died, but this one's a bit, you know, it's padded by history, so it's not as bad. But the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard this one.
Yeah.
But this one really got me. I'd never heard about this.
I'm ready.
And when I heard it, it makes so much sense. So well, I'd like to believe it anyway. Yeah, I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But from the information I've got, it sounds pretty compelling.
Yeah.
So everyone knows about the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
If
that
you
was
don't, like,
it had
you're
a
way
lot
too
of,
young
lot of
to
trouble
listen.
with construction, right?
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't ready to go.
so like that's what they say.
Yeah.
But there's an other known ship owned by the same company, let's say, and that had been going around for ages, and it had similar problems to it, like what caused the Titanic to sink.
Yeah.
And I think it had run into 2 or 3 accidents before, like big ones.
Yeah.
And like it still made it to port, obviously, and they'd done repairs.
Yeah.
But basically, it's quite unprofitable, right?
Yeah.
So they've got it insured. What they do is they swap the names with the Titanic and this ship.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And basically, they send this ship off disguised as the new Titanic.
Yeah.
And they switch, the names.
Yeah.
So this old ship is
Yeah.
now the Titanic. And the Titanic goes off, and they plan to sink it for insurance purposes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't plan to do it in such a dramatic way that killed everyone.
Yeah.
They wanted to put a big hole in it and sort of write it off.
Yeah.
And that's the theory, right?
Yeah.
And so what supports that is there's like a sets of windows at the back.
Yeah.
And in the original photos of the Titanic under construction,
Yeah.
it has like, I don't know, X amount of windows,
Yeah.
right? And then in the one that sank or whatever, later on, it has a different amount of windows. at the
Okay,
back.
yeah.
So something's changed along the way, right?
So that's dodgy ass.
And also the ship that was theoretically swapped, right?
Yeah.
It went on to have a really successful career, and it never had any accidents again. And
Yeah.
it
So that
performed for
being-
ages.
Yeah, so it's like, how did it shift from being
all that money that
bad?
was sank into the Titanic
Yeah.
was switched around with this other ship, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Another
I've
pun.
got to stop making these puns.
Yeah.
But this other ship, it performed wonderfully, and it did well, and it lived for ages.
Yeah.
Exactly what the Titanic was advertised to do.
Yeah.
But
That makes so much sense.
The Olympic, was it called the Olympic?
I believe it was the Olympic. Yeah, there you go.
But
the
it-
exchange theory. Yeah.
But then, as the original thing that we've been talking about with this whole conspiracy theory stuff, is that if you like link it to like why would they do it, makes heaps sense. Get that insurance money.
A lot of insurance money.
Yeah,
And,
tons.
I've not done it very well. Like, I have not done this theory justice.
Yeah.
There's a big Reddit post somewhere,
Yeah,
and it was very convincing. Granted, I didn't actually do any research, and I didn't follow the links.
Oh, for everything that we've talked about today, maybe apart from the Port Arthur one, there's a lot of information
Oh,
that
and
you could look at.
we should encourage everyone to just go and
Just
look
go
into
watch it.
everything. Like, it's obviously
Yeah.
just our
yeah,
interpretations of a lot
like
of
there's
different
documentaries galore about all this stuff. So
things. This one says like the Olympic was, like the Titanic, was originally fitted with the same 14 pothole arrangement on the side port of her forecastle, but 2 additional potholes were later fitted. And then it's saying like the ship that the ship would be intentionally sunk to claim the insurance benefits. The Titanic cost $7.5 million and was insured for $5 million.
and when was it happen? When did it happen? Oh, years and years ago.
It's like 2 or 3 lifetimes ago now.
Yeah, so
That's
like that amount of money doesn't sound big now, but
Oh, yeah,
back
it would
then
have been
that's
big.
tons.
It was enough to bankrupt the holding company, I believe. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the company was called. JP Morgan owned it, I think.
Okay,
Or
so
yeah,
they went bankrupt.
JM someone? JM. maybe?
But
No, but I really like the sort of visual like imagery
Yeah.
of showing how it actually sank and how that didn't correlate to what was happening
Yeah.
and what had happened to the ship.
That's cool. I like that. I had never heard that before. So
Yeah.
that's what surprised me so much,
It's
and I'm
another
not sure
one to
if it's like total BS. You know,
Yeah.
I can't tell
it
you.
could
But
be, but you never know.
the way it was presented to me seemed
Compelling
very,
enough.
very compelling.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you get enough of a compelling argument in there and a convincing one, then
yeah. But I mean, like if they'd fully thought it through and they weren't supposed to actually have lots of life, wouldn't they have put more lifeboats on it?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
There's always other questions to ask.
If they were trying to make it like quiet, like why?
Yeah.
Why the Titanic?
Was there another way to do it? Maybe.
Why hype it up?
You don't know. You don't know. Anyway, maybe we should move on from...
Yeah, conspiracies probably run their course.
Yeah. This could turn into like someone's DA. You know, those DAs that they just do conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
It could be one of those.
All very interesting nonetheless. But
I think we should assess the tweet we put out about questions.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got anything.
We never really get much traction on our sort of Q&A posts, but we do get a lot of questions in our DMs and just general day-to-day questions.
Well, Callum tagged me in something. I thought it was going to be like a question, but it was just Inter Milan have sacked their manager and Antonio Conte is replacing him.
Let's not go towards soccer, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Callum.
Thanks a lot, Callum.
That's actually big news. Yeah, we won't go into that, otherwise I'll talk for 2 days.
I think interesting... Oh, okay, cool. The interesting sort of question we keep getting a lot is, what does DMS actually do?
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to sort of maybe address that again in a very casual manner. We're trying to help out the broader BCM faculty. I think is a pretty large part of us. Callum says this very eloquently. We're probably going to butcher it to heck, but we want to provide the best sort of route to resources that we have, because we've given so many resources, and something as simple as looking for real life experience in your field and stuff, like we're trying to point you in the right directions and stuff like that, and having fun with it as well. Having like the opportunity to be able to have this discourse between members is sick. I think that's awesome, like valuable resource for everybody.
For sure.
Not even just that, like getting someone to bounce your DA ideas off of, or hey, does this look good? Like we just spent 2 hours playing Sunny's board game before we started this podcast, like just to give feedback and work on it.
Like we're quite fortunate to have the BCM subjects quite based on that whole idea of, you know, we collaborate a lot on Twitter anyway. Like you know, before the society was in existence, like, you know, Twitter was like, you know, a nice space for all the BCM students.
We had our own OODA loop.
We had our own OODA loop, and then the classes were built in a way that the OODA loop was nice there too. Like these classes with the DAs, like, you know, collaboration's encouraged but not compulsory, stuff like that. But then the society is just, it's kind of like another avenue for that to take place.
Trying to sort of enable that to go to the next level.
Exactly. We want to support tame the school, so all the whatever, I can't talk at the moment.
No, it's all good.
Support the school that BCM is held in. With all their initiatives as well. Yeah,
to a wider extent, definitely. And again, on the note of connecting people, like, it really does take to the next level. You can talk to people in class, cool, but then when everyone just goes home at the end of the day and keeps doing their own thing, it's like, what did you get out of this? And I look around, like, I don't want to get sappy, but you guys, like, we're here doing this because of the club. Like, we were really lucky to sort of have this collaborative group of people form around the class, and being able to encourage that sort of organic growth through the club, I think would be amazing, to sort of connect people who are actually willing to get involved with each other.
That's a big thing.
Because I don't think I've ever been in any of your classes. Alex.
Never.
Yeah.
So
we met because we were in the club.
We would have totally missed out on meeting each other.
Yeah.
I don't think we have ever been in a class. Because you're I
wasn't even
third year now?
I'm third year now.
Yeah, so Sunny and I are both fourth.
And like, I've been good friends with all the people I've been in classes with.
Yeah.
But I would have missed you if I weren't friends with them.
I would have missed everybody.
And sort of, you get one person clumped together and two people, and you sort of snowball effect.
Oh,
you get these larger groups formed.
Exactly. Well,
and then, if we can enable that through the club, then I think
for everybody else
we've done our job.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
And I mean, like, not to rehash the whole like Facebook Messenger group sort of thing, because that's like, it's got such potential in its organic sort of form. Like, hey, let's make a group chat where we can all discuss each other's things and help each other with their DAs, but then
it's
the way it's
impersonal as well.
And it takes a point where now you've got a group chat of 150 people, you're not going to send your DA in it because you're terrified, and then also there's not effective feedback, it's just going to get flooded. So like,
And there's
I
one
think,
guy who puts memes in there every single day.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Eventually gets kicked out or people leave, which is worse.
Which is worse. And then there's just misinformation everywhere.
yeah, and
which is
like, but
bad as
that
well.
aside, like we made a group chat and we made an effort to make sure it was under this many, like 10 people.
Yep.
And you were able, we have I think we have one of the fastest like iteration loops of anything ever. Like if we're trying to do something, put out an email or put up a tweet or like plan an event, like we can have a whole thing done in under 30 minutes. Like that day I was trying to send that email out before 4 p.m. We had the fastest responses
ever.
Everything was productive. Everyone was involved.
We had to make a whole like template and some art.
Yeah, and then can you find someone to do this? Can you get a time? Can you book a room? And I think that whole idea of keeping it small enough that it's manageable, but like
utilising as much swarm as possible.
Yeah, because we're so powerful and we have so many, like, not powerful as in like
not to blow
an entity, but I mean like us as individuals, like we have so many different, like, I don't know, like skills and, and talents and
it's
gifts
like the Power Rangers coming together. And
literally.
The Avengers.
But 100%, and like an example of this is, I recommend anyone listening in still doing BCM subjects to have a go. But recently we were writing a Google Doc, and like we had to get it done quickly. So we had, I think, 5 or 6 people in there, and me, I have a big problem with white pages, right? But I'm very good at editing, I feel. And so we get someone to write something down, and simultaneously someone's doing the next paragraph, and then you go back and check the first one. Someone who's good at grammar and PR type things go through and comb that. And it's amazing what you can get done with everyone's skill sets.
Yeah, for sure. Like those days when we were like planning the events and even like getting ready for like presentations that we had to do for like lectures and stuff. Like how quickly we knotted it out, it was crazy.
Yeah. So like I think like people have the right idea by wanting to create those groups and sort of stuff, but you can't just have one person in there that then goes, oh, this is right, everyone be quiet. Like you've got to have that even share, like even with like Callum being our president, like yes, he doesn't have to like president in. No,
it's a decentralized club.
Yeah,
literally. It is decentralized.
Yeah. He still can't believe that he is president. He still sort of goes like, oh wait, this is my title.
Yeah.
It's very I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Laissez-faire, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's an actual thing.
That's very poetic, because we're basically the internet club, right? As a university, you could call us the internet club. And that is totally encompassing, the structure of the internet, and that's what happens if you structure something in the correct way. Then people are going to act in that way. It's like the board game earlier. You build a set of rules that people can follow, and then they will follow, even if they're doing a different strategy to what you may think. They're going to work within that system and like
bring out another fruitful outcome. Like it's going to be something different.
I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I don't know what to pick up. But
well, I think like people like Ted and Chris and even Doug and Travis and all that and Angus, like they sort of give us this platform where they've got like this structure that we need to fit into with our DAs and overall tweets and sort of interactions online.
There's a small criteria.
But the lack of sort of like you have to do this, like give me this, and people really struggle obviously with the lack of structure. But at the end of the day, like they give us the opportunity to, with 325, like Chris has literally called us to say what things do you want in this subject, like give me your feedback, let's work on it. It's not some weird feedback form in class. Like he genuinely appreciates our insights.
We know how he stopped the lectures. That was because of a conversation he had with us. Well, not just us, but like there was a few of us
that sort of said this. You don't.
What was the change?
He just stopped doing the online lectures.
Okay, so weren't watching. Now they're in person, or
no? It basically, so it's just a seminar for the subject. But he had online lectures as well. But they weren't compulsory. But it was expected to watch them.
And he was putting a lot of effort into.
He was.
It as well.
Well, again, the way you build a system, if you say they're not compulsory, people won't do them because they don't have time.
So people did them at the beginning, and then they stopped, and then by week 7 or 8ish, he just stopped making them because he's like, well, what do you guys think? And we're like, we think they're great.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, same. But we gave him the feedback that we said, if you make them compulsory and you add an assessment component to them, similar to like 206 where you have to watch the lecture, write like 150 word blog on it. That's perfect. Make people watch it. it doesn't make much work out of other than...
Well, as much as I hate doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, 'cause that's the thing. You had to be, like, schedule. Like, you had to do it once a week. That was probably my hardest thing with it. Whereas, like, you know, in actual fact, like, you just have to watch the lecture and then write 150 words. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So
I think as soon as you make something, like, required, everyone just freaks out. Like,
Yeah,
no one can
they'll
deal
do
with
it.
the fact that you actually have to do stuff in subjects at university.
Yeah.
I think is a...
Yeah, well, again, I've probably talked about this before, but especially with BCM and art subjects and commerce, I've noticed a lot of the time, if you don't know what you want to do at uni, you will either do communications and media or commerce. You kind of fall into one of those two, I'd say. Or a mixed arts degree, but a lot of people get turned off by the fact it's just an arts degree majoring in whatever.
Yeah.
So I find a lot of people, especially you'd know well, that
art recruitment
through your
and
job,
stuff.
Alex.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't know what they want to do.
A lot of directionless people fall into commerce and media.
And a lot of them who don't know what they want to do either go for law, but I think just due to the nature of the
barriers of entry.
Yeah, that they just fall into commerce or comms as well. Because a lot of people come up at work, you know, students, high school students who want to come to uni. Majority of the time, the ones who aren't saying a specific thing like, oh, psychology or nursing, they're coming up and saying law, business, etc. Because they don't know.
Don't know that. Well, my degree lends itself to be I don't know what job I'm going to I'm 4 years into a 4.5 year degree, and like I don't have a job I'm going to step into, but my main sort of what's left of my motivation is sort of the idea that I'm still enjoying what I'm doing, and I like my majors.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it is getting harder with the university sort of pulling out different subjects.
I mean, they're trying to fix your global one.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, Chris just spoke today about the changes. It's just changing. So
basically, I'm doing 2 different degrees, and in my international studies degree, I'm doing global media and communications as a major. And at the beginning of this year, they didn't actually notify anybody in the major. We just all went to enroll in sort of third year, fourth year subjects, and half of them, 6 out of the 8 I tried to enroll in didn't exist. So I had a huge sort of mail chain sort of being like, hey, like, what do I do? And I got like 3 different answers, and then I submitted the form about, you know, the remaining subjects, and that's got a completely different answer on it again. So it's like at the point where I'm like, does this uni want me to graduate with this major? Because like they haven't given me like an alternative. So it's either like if I do what's on my like required subjects remaining, is that actually going to give me my major? Because it doesn't have the like BCM subjects in there at all.
Yeah.
So that sort of stuff's like...
You definitely need to have a chat with the students if you haven't already.
Go see Joe Law.
Yeah, it's just... You just got to, like, figure it out. But, I mean, like, that can be really disheartening for someone that doesn't know what they want to do. And then they look at a degree and it's already confusing as it is to be a student.
Yeah, 100%.
And then to talk to people like me, I'm like, yeah, like, it's pretty hard.
But just, double in general. Like, I do a pretty easygoing double.
Yeah.
And yet still I've had nightmares of just matching subjects and sort of moving things around.
Did you have a sneaky another major or minor pop up in yours?
How so, like?
So mine originally, I read it as I had to do a major under both of my degree banners, and then I had to have a language minor. But then when I read it again, I think beginning of last year, it says I had to have another LHA major or minor.
I didn't have that, but I am a real... what you call in video games is min-maxing. And I've really squeezed a lot out of my degree, and as a result it's been a tight fit at some points. So
No, I get you.
Like I've got 2 majors and 2 minors like at this rate.
You can fit it in a commerce communication double, because you have that beauty of like those...
They're not crossing over.
I only have a few subjects that I can do as electives though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was what happened to me.
Yeah.
So I did double major in a single degree, so that automatically like takes up your whole elective space. I was just lucky that a few subjects crossed over, like BCM 112 counted for digital major and for the BCM core, and then management 102 counted for the marketing major, and the BCM core. So I still had 2 electives, but it was just because of the crossovers.
Point is, it's very complicated. We don't want to bore people.
But with our dynamics.
Yeah. So going back, what we do as a club, we're trying to help people and facilitate sort of connections between people, get a social group going.
Because, you know, as I said before, like, we're quite lucky that the BCM has this dynamic anyway in terms of the classes and the Twitter and stuff like that, but there's no club for it.
Yeah.
Which is,
well,
you know...
there is
it's
now.
odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's odd that there was no club. You see, law has a very well-funded club, from my understanding.
Law is the biggest one. Yeah.
Commerce has all the societies sort of come together
Yep.
and pitch their funds.
Yep.
Nursing and engineering both have things going.
They have
And
all
then
their little things.
LHA is just so decentralized. It's like, I don't know, the Gauls in Germany. A lot of little groups, and then the Romans come through and just wipe them out.
Yeah, but it was very interesting.
That's what we do. Like, I don't know how
We unite
else
the
to...
Gauls.
Yeah. Bring it in.
So yeah, BCM, non-BCM, anyone.
Yeah, because
Join.
I technically am not a BCM student.
You're not BCM at all.
Yeah, but
so-
you know, if you like the internet, or
If you like the internet.
if you like the fact it exists,
yeah,
please
join. Yeah, but yeah, and we like to facilitate opportunities for the members too. So if you're a member and you like to get involved, we've got stuff for you to do. Get some stuff out of us as well.
because again, you look out there and like there's internships in Sydney. Yeah, it's an option, and there's a lot of things to do out there. There's, not gonna lie, sometimes it feels like there's not a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Speaking of, should we move on to Q&A?
Yeah.
Which Q&A question number one?
We were kind of in the Q&A.
We were in the Q&A realm, but Q&A, one and only question from the Q&A.
Oh, actually, sorry, we got another one, but it's from Meg.
We got another one. Okay. How about we start with me?
Doesn't count. No, it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
No, let's go with-
Everyone
let's go
tell
with-
your favourite movie and why.
Okay.
Thanks, Meg. Nah.
That's like icebreaker stuff that
Yeah,
you do.
let's not do
we're
the
too
first
far
day.
past
Yeah.
that. Sorry, Meg.
That's like an end of thing that we can just wrap up with.
Fun fact though, if you're doing icebreakers, like if you come to university at all, make sure you have a set icebreaker ready to go.
Yeah.
It's always tell us 3 things about yourself.
Yeah. So just think of that early.
No, my favourite thing to do, right, is
Yeah.
you go, like, I love Mexican food. That's
Yeah.
a quirky fact, you know, it's like Tinder
Oh,
101.
so quirky.
Oh, that's
yeah.
yeah.
I love long walks on the beach, you know.
Yeah. Is that your
The
actual-
office is life.
Is that your actual-
I've got a girlfriend, it doesn't matter. I don't need.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yes.
need.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I thought that was your 3. Like,
No,
I love Mexican food. I love
He
long
just-
walks
he
on
just
the
went- he
beach.
just
I
went
love
to
the
the frame.
office.
No, but the third one is magic, right? You go, well, actually, no, I fucked that up. You go, one of the things you say is, I'm a terrible liar.
Yeah.
And then at the end you say one of these things is false.
Yeah, that's so good.
And like,
2 truths and a lie.
yeah, but like, if you say you're a terrible liar, it becomes something impossible to solve.
Exactly.
It's like that triangle,
The palace
what's it
logo.
called? The Mobius strip. That's what it is.
It's not the palace logo.
Yeah, the palace logo. Let's go with that. But, anyway, so
The
we're getting
palace
confused.
logo
Let's
is-
go back to Q&A. Let's answer.
Okay.
There's only one question. Surely
Yeah.
you can do that.
The only question we have is from Caitlin, Childish Gay Beano on Twitter. So we put out a tweet about doing another podcast, tweet us questions or stuff you'd like us to discuss, and Caitlin responded and said, getting internships in the BCM field when it's so competitive, places to find them and so on. So that's a great question because we get that question quite a lot, because, yeah, like, that is a big
Obviously,
thing.
you're at university because you want to get a job.
You want to get a
right?
job, yeah. So, you know, internships are a big thing you hear about, you know, going through high school and stuff. And, you know, things like the law degree has compulsory internships, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, a lot of people do internships at uni. But yeah, it seems like BCM's a bit dry.
Well, again, there's a total lack of structure and coordination. Like,
which they're fixing,
yeah, really.
thankfully,
Because Commerce has Com 391, I believe.
which I'm doing this semester.
Yeah, where they set you up with an internship. You don't have to, like...
It's
Wait,
guaranteed.
Isn't that
Do
the
anything?
300
Yeah.
level CRL?
No, you still have to find your
No,
own
with
internship.
CRLP,
Oh, you have to
you have
find
to
your
find
own.
your own.
Yeah, they
But
just-
with Com 391, they
It's
connect
guaranteed.
you.
That's why I did
It's
it.
like speed dating, but internships.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
that's-
you're guaranteed a spot,
Yeah, that's
which is
the,
nice.
that's the reason I did the whole subject.
But-
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Backtracking a bit,
Yeah.
we don't have anything like that in communications and media.
No.
Which is
And-
coming, but unfortunately, it's not here yet. So yeah, we don't have something at this stage. So
But I'd say the biggest thing, like this is off track again. My
Yeah.
biggest recommendation for anyone in BCM is
Yeah.
like you get out what you put in,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
and if you're not out there like chasing every opportunity, it sounds terrible, and I don't want to be one of those people, but you have to go above and beyond.
yeah,
Like
And you like,
For sure.
you can't sort of like be the person that like, I don't know, like you need to be proactive and like that's all well good, like, but don't be disheartened by sort of not finding a perfect position or a perfect paying thing.
Yeah.
Or, like you do sort of have to work at that level where it's like, yeah, you're going to work in retail we all have literally been in
I'm going to
hospitality.
graduate and I'm going to become a barista.
Yeah, like you have to have that sort of mentality where we are adaptable enough.
You've got to
sort
take
of,
what you can get.
Yeah, and like it's not
reality.
to dishearten you, but
Yeah.
you're not going to find the perfect thing straight away, and you need to have experience in order to get experience, which sucks.
Yeah.
And we all know that and we all hate it.
Because when you think about it,
yeah.
the dream jobs and the dream internships, etc., that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
The reason that they sound so good is because they're like nearly perfect in your mind.
And they're in your head.
in your head. But like those jobs can exist, but they're not going to be as perfect as you think they are.
Yeah.
And if they were, everybody would have that job.
Yeah. They wouldn't be
nothing wrong with
available
it.
anyway.
So that's the thing. Like the better jobs and the better internships are much harder to get.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that better as in like but like obviously if you can get paid for an internship, that's ideal. But there's not many paying ones, and the ones that are paying, they get snapped up really quickly.
Yeah.
With that said, though, there are existing a total trash tier of internships where some people have
exploitation and stuff.
businesses that rely on funneling
labor.
internships through free labour. Basically, they get you in for, let's say, 2 months. Say, oh yeah, wink, wink, we might give you a job.
Yeah.
And then
you don't learn anything the whole time. You just do stuff for them.
Basically, you do someone's job unpaid, and then once you're done, you're out, and then they get the next sucker in.
Yeah. And it's articulated as an internship opportunity.
Yeah, but it's just really...
Yeah. So that's another thing, is make sure that you're not being exploited.
If there's more interns than employees, you should probably you know, pack up your bag.
And if you're not learning anything, then that's also something. Like you want an internship where you're going to be actually able to do stuff. Like, because you want to be able to gain experience.
And you also want to, like, think about, like, if you're going to put it on your resume or your CV, you got to think, like, okay, I've got this thing to put on my resume now. Now I need to explain what skills and what experience I've actually gained from that. So I think thinking about that in, like, a
exactly.
structure.
Because if you get an internship and then you're, at the end of it, you don't even want to put it on your resume, then what was the point?
Yeah, what's the point? It's wasting time.
Yeah, and, like, again, if you get to that point and you're not going to want it on your resume anyway, I don't think you should be that afraid of burning bridges. Like, usually I'm one... definitely to avoid burning bridges. Yeah. But the fact is, you know, there's a whole world out there, and if someone's trying to take advantage of you, you don't want them speaking 100%. For you anyway, really.
100%,
like,
we're literally in a communications degree. Like, you should be able to communicate when you feel valid or like...
Yeah, you don't want to be exploited, especially in this realm of like...
Especially if you do graphic design.
Exactly.
Let's talk. Yeah.
That is a big thing at the moment. There was a big thing on Blind Cell the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah.
There was like a company who wanted someone to design their logo or something, and everybody just got pissed at them in the comments.
Well, yeah, there's a big one. I think it's in Europe. It's Punk IPA. Yeah. Like it's a giant. How do I say this unironically? It's like craft beer.
Yeah.
But it's craft beer for the masses. Yeah. So it's basically beer, but just craft marketed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think I heard about
this. They
this.
regularly host competitions.
Yeah.
For like who can get a logo.
That's what this was.
You're joking.
It was a competition.
Yeah, for like graphic design, and they say, the best design will win the job, basically. And then you get paid for your design. So all these people are working for free, basically. They get hundreds of entries.
They're doing their own.
And then here's the kicker: they don't even hire the person at the end.
They
get someone in house to copy it. And then claim
execute it. Yeah.
You change like 3 things, and I'm not sure exactly how it works. Obviously, it's a nuanced law, but they dance around it and think of like all the man hours from all those entries. Like,
that's the thing. That's what this was. It was this company, local, that was saying
they're labeling it as student experience.
Yeah, and it was literally set a competition, and there was a prize at the end of it, and the winner with the chosen design from the boss was going to win the prize, and that's. Everybody got pissed at it, like rightfully so.
Fairly, yeah.
But
anyway,
Well, going back to who said being proactive, was that
me?
Both of us said that.
Both
yeah, being proactive is really important because, like, take me for example. I've done an internship at a marketing agency, and not to blow my own trumpet here, but like I did Com 391 this year, and that's a commerce subject that is restricted to commerce students. I did BCM, but I did Com 391. Because I was proactive. They kept sending me emails about Com 391, and I responded. I said, hey, can I apply for it even though I'm not a commerce student? Like, because there's prerequisites. You have to have finished first year commerce and achieved a WAM of 65. And I said, I haven't done any of these commerce subjects. I'm not a commerce student. Can I apply just for a marketing internship? And they said, you sure can.
Yeah, wow.
So if I did an email about that, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
And that was all I had to do. You just had to... it's a subject.
Just
at the end
ask
of the day.
questions.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's the
literally,
thing. Like,
put yourself out there.
because I was struggling to get an internship as well, and then that was kind
And you
of my
have
avenue.
literally like 17 jobs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, it's because they're all like, the uni's the best
Yeah.
to work for.
Yeah.
But this was an actual at a marketing firm.
That's sick.
Yeah, but
And Career Central as well is really important. Like, don't overlook. Like,
oh yeah,
that
well
sort of-
they like facilitate all content on one, like business faculty and
Yeah.
careers. They have all the partners, so like stuff like that the uni can offer.
And they send you emails and let you know when there's new stuff.
Exactly.
I feel
Oh,
like
they
that's really important
they
too.
always send that. But
Again,
then
Again, though, it's like good fishing spots. I hate to keep using metaphors, but
Yeah.
like if you look only on like Career Central,
you're gonna run yourself dry eventually. And
someone's
not find it. Yeah,
There's a lot of people looking at that, and
Yeah.
someone's going to snap it up. Your
Exactly.
chances are lower.
exactly.
If you find that fishing hole in the middle of nowhere, like
Yeah.
you
Pretty
go
set.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't tell anyone about it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
But I mean, like, the ones we post are pretty obscure anyway. And like the, we have a pool of like maybe 50 people that are looking at our posts. And then it's sort of like, if we've posted that to 50 people, 30 of them aren't going to act on it. 20 of them might be like, oh, that's cool. And then 10 of them might apply. Like, you still
Yeah.
have better odds than if you hadn't applied in the first place.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly right.
yeah. But I feel like, I think that's a good sort of closing. But
What was the question? Yeah.
Yeah, like BCM internships and where to look for them and stuff.
I think just keeping a good, like,
Keep an open mind.
Yeah.
close call with asking your tutors.
But don't get taken advantage of, and
Yeah, don't.
don't do an internship for like a family business that like I don't want to generalize too much,
Yeah.
but someone
You
who's
never
going to
know.
ask you to redo your graphic design thing a million times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not pay you like
Yeah, basically, you want to learn, but you want to get experience at the same time, so it's really hard to distinguish. But yeah, if the whole point of the internship is just for them to get unpaid labour out of you, then it might not be worth it.
Yeah.
Because maybe it could.
It can
It
turn
can.
into
Yeah,
there's I believe his name's Noah. He's in
Uh-huh.
a lot of my classes.
Yeah.
He does graphic design. He gets paid for it already.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's got his own business running, and
Yeah.
he's still in uni.
Do it like
he does
that.
it for fun.
Yeah, do it like that. You got wealth of opportunities to do stuff like that. That's the whole point of the DAs.
Yeah.
Because does he do BCM or?
Yeah. It's all about the portfolio. You want to build that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Do
the
that
degree
as a DA.
it's a very skeletal degree, and
Yeah.
it's sort of more there, I think, to facilitate you getting something you can show to employers.
Exactly.
Or having that
with the
experience.
blogs and everything.
Yeah, well, that kind of leads into Callum's question. He's been very nice and added a question to our little
Oh,
thing.
beautiful.
He sort of asked what our blogging pet peeves are, and like a big thing for me at the moment is I'm trying to make a website for DMS, and
Yeah.
I've decided to do it on WordPress to try and make it as collaborative as possible when I
Yeah.
leave and all that sort of jazz.
And WordPress is the
WordPress
industry
is the,
standard
the
anyway, so,
sort of
yeah.
the blogging site. But I
Yeah,
accidentally,
websites.
I accidentally changed my own theme on my own BCM.
Now you can't get it back?
blog, and now I can't get it
Really?
back.
yeah, you can't get it back.
And
Happened to me last year as well.
like I've really like gone through the ringer the past few weeks, just trying to like set my blog back up, and I just can't get it how I want it to look. But my sort of pet peeve is when people don't utilize sort of like the stuff that we've been taught how to use, like. Because like I know how to use it, but then I'm getting so frustrated. So I'm like, might go see Alex at the library, get him to
yeah.
help me, like, because
That happened a lot at this early semester, which was cool,
Yeah.
which was good.
my pet peeve
Want people
with
to do that.
blogging is not utilizing this platform that literally like is made so we can all interact with each other. Like if
Yeah.
you're told to do comments for your subject, do the comments. Like it's not hard. And if
Yeah.
you like
Respond to them.
if you get 150 words to like contextualize your video or your sound, what do you call that, a sound clip or whatever,
Yeah.
utilize it, put hyperlinks in, reference your stuff, like use headings, use different fonts, like add images in, use a header, like make it a piece that someone's going to want to look at. Because at the end of the day, someone might search your name on Google and pull
find
up your
that.
BCM blog and look at it and be like, I mean, they're only talking about memes, but like I can see that they're able to structure
Articulate something in a way and
Yeah,
have
and
a
it-
nice presentation.
yeah, and just take the time and don't be hard on yourself when you mess it up, because everyone's messing it up, like me
Yeah,
messing
and
it
I
up.
think if people find your blog posts online, they're not going to look at your earliest posts.
Yeah.
They're going to click on your blog and they're going to scroll maybe, I don't know, maximum one page
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
history. So I'd say starting now, or like, depends when you're graduating,
Yeah.
make sure the top hit posts are something you'd want employers to see.
Yeah.
But even if they do scroll to the earlier ones, they're going
They'll
to
see
see that
improvement.
you're
You've
improving
improved, yeah.
and you're showing that
That's why I left all
100
my crap
levels.
ones up.
Yeah, like my 100 level that kind of looks a bit average, but then
Mine
without even knowing
300s.
the
Yeah.
feedback, you
So
can
much
see what's
Yeah.
different.
Well, it's like what Doug said, that heartbreaking when he graduated.
Yeah.
he immediately went and deleted his website, and he really regrets that from what I hear.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
pet peeve though?
Pet peeve, blogging pet peeve.
Mine personally,
Yeah.
it's not... Okay, I've got many.
Yeah,
but
we all have many.
One of the biggest things for me is commenting on blogs. Well, you brought that up before. I just immediately got triggered.
Yeah.
When you're commenting on someone's blog, if you want it to be worth any kind of marks at all, give it some substance. Whenever someone says "nice job," I mean it's kind of supportive, but it's literally like
empty,
jerking off onto the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
no one don't want to see it either.
Everyone knows you probably don't care about that person's work. To be very blunt, you probably don't care that much.
Yeah.
What we're looking for is something mildly constructive. So like not grammar Nazi constructive, but like something that's useful. So
I like for me, like if somebody's got bad presentation, I'll mention that in the comment.
I think it's important to be positive, but at the same
I'm
time,
never like rude about it. But I always say like, because if you're commenting, it's likely about the work. But if somebody's got an issue with their blog in the background, I'll mention that, like because I want that to improve as well.
Yeah, and you don't want people to take offense to it either. But it's,
you don't
it's for the best, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to
want
be.
to
It's
help them
constructive
improve.
criticism.
Yeah. But anyway, coming back to it, when you're commenting on blogs, just look up, even if it's the first Google hit when you search something mildly related, just give them something they can expand on the topic with. If it's not helping at all, there's no point posting it.
Yeah.
Give them something to bounce off. Definitely. And Alex, do you have a pet peeve?
I don't know necessarily a pet peeve, but something people don't do enough is hyperlinking.
Yeah.
I love hyperlinking, and it doesn't.
Cool.
I don't see it enough from other people's blogs.
Yeah.
Like, we have to comment.
Sorry, Alex is just getting up to turn the light back on again.
We still have to comment in third year, and I still don't see it enough hyperlinking on people's blogs. Like, you don't have to flood your post with it, but you should always be hyperlinking. There's a few instances when you should do it. The main one is that whenever something people from outside of BCM wouldn't understand, hyperlink that.
Or even in general, something that wouldn't generally be general knowledge, let's say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. But like things, people write the words BCM 325 in a post. Hyperlink that to the subject description on UAW website, for example.
Or even just give them in brackets like future cultures.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Yeah, so that they understand.
I'm guilty of myself personally. So I can't talk.
Because, if an employer's reading a post about whatever and they see that, they're not going to understand. So, hyperlink things that people aren't going to understand, general knowledge or, outside of that discipline.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hyperlink. When you're giving credit, obviously you reference, but you can always hyperlink to that person's site as well.
Yeah.
If I have a reference in a blog post and the person's name is the reference, I'll link to like their website.
Yeah,
for example.
just something.
Yeah.
Also hyperlink, or even just add in like if you're talking about previous posts, like
hyperlink to your own stuff. Yeah,
If you're in a beta and you go reference your pitch, please just hyperlink your pitch.
Yeah. So in my previous post, hyperlink to it. Go on, move on. Yeah. So that's probably the thing that I would mention. I don't see it enough.
And you don't have to explain stuff as much either. If someone wants to hear the explanation, they can just click on it. No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to explain it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is a good one to end on, but Chris did just ask, what makes an effective, engaging, and enjoyable digital artifact to create, not only for an audience, but for yourself? I feel like that's a bit
that's a spicy
heavy
one.
to
Cool.
end on.
Is that from Chris Moore?
No,
Chris
from Chris
Oh, God. Gee, that's one I would have expected from Chris.
Yeah,
Chris
The other
Moore.
Chris, I mean.
Like No, Chris.
Okay, I'm just reading it, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
For everybody.
Amongst a couple of meme questions.
Yeah, that's okay. Arguments for and against getting Corey back in the house. Is that like Corey in the house reference?
Surely. There can't be that many Corys in your house.
But, yeah.
Decent show.
You know what? I never saw it. Was it the White House? Is that the kicker?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like his dad was the chef in the White House, so he got to live there. Yeah.
But...
Yeah, okay.
Do we want to try and touch on that? How can we make that shorter so we're not... Because
Let's do it part by part.
What makes an effective digital artifact?
Okay, for who?
Okay, effective for not only an audience but for yourself.
Okay, so for it to be effective to your audience...
Social utility.
That's the thing, that's the social utility. So when you do a digital artifact, one of the key criteria is that it has to be relevant for an audience, the social utility. So
you have to be able to place it.
You have to be kind of adding something to a niche or an audience or something like that.
I don't really like the term social utility either because it kind of implies that it's useful for something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
A lot of content on Earth isn't actually that useful for the benefit of mankind.
I feel like contributing is a better word because you can contribute stuff, whether it's good or bad or helpful or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're contributing something to that specific area or niche or discipline, then that's achieving a social utility.
And it is okay to be an entertainment
you don't have
category.
to.
Like, it doesn't have to
helpful.
As much as we shit all over, fashion Instagram, they're a thing.
People want to see that.
Yeah, there's consumers for that kind of content. And that's fine.
That's why they do well. So you want to make something that's going to contribute to an area of interest to certain people.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
There has to be an audience in there. So
even if it's niche, though.
Yeah. Now, how to be effective for yourself? You want to do something you enjoy first and foremost.
Well, like that kind of ties in the enjoyable sort of question as well.
Yeah. So
but I think if something's effective for yourself, I think it needs to be like showing growth. Like you need to be able to.
That's a good point.
Like you need to show that you're able to take criticism because it starts getting a bad mark or hearing a comment that's sort of like, I don't know what this is. Like, help me.
It also sucks going back to my early DAs,
and seeing the missed opportunity or just
more watching them. The video ones are so
bad.
But I came a long way. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't put myself out there in that terribly embarrassing way.
You're learning as well.
I think it's just all about allowing an audience or your tutor or someone to see that you're able to adapt and sort of like do all that stuff as well, which is really interesting. But yeah, like in terms of engaging
or if we go back for a second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
For yourself, as well as growth, you have to be able to enjoy it. You can push yourself through something to grow, but if you absolutely hate every minute of it, then there's better ways to do it. There's better ways to do it. And obviously you're very much encouraged to do something that you already enjoy or get involved with, I don't know, a fandom you're part of or like a hobby that you already have. But it can be difficult, and if you're someone like me, you take a real shotgun approach to life and hobbies.
Yeah.
And I can't say I identify with rock climbing or like mountain biking or skiing or anything like that. You know? And I've participated in them before, but I couldn't say I don't walk around telling people I do CrossFit, for example. But it's a thing you can do. But I'd say in that sort of situation, what I did was sort of, hey, I'm out here trying to do everything I can, and you can sort of use that. And what I did was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I don't think I am.
I did sort of like a scattergun approach to learning. So my DA was called Inexperience, and I just went around trying stuff I've never done.
Yeah, cool.
So I tried to learn to skateboard. I tried to fix a computer.
Tried?
Well, I ended up getting it done, but there was a few things that would drive people insane, like worse than the Verge video. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
But they had this journalist build a computer.
Oh no.
And basically they did everything wrong. And everyone on the internet just said, that is terrible advice. Why are you trying to teach people this? So if I was going to go back and do it, I would definitely take it less from an educational and more from an entertainment, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But sort of more highlighting what you can do wrong and like pointing out after the fact that you've done it wrong.
Yeah.
Especially with physical stuff, because you don't want to hurt yourself or give people the wrong advice is the scariest thing possible.
Yeah.
You don't want that. But to go back to that anyway.
Yeah.
You want to do something you at least mildly enjoy, I would say.
Yeah. Because you're given such an opportunity to actually get to pick to do something.
Or something you want to learn about.
It's like the fun version of getting to pick your essay question from a pool of 6 questions. I think it's that. But it's also very terrifying as well, because you sort of have to decide,
Yeah, there's the existential dread. It's the same, like I said earlier, looking at a blank page, and you look at that blank page, and the freedom to do anything is also the freedom to do nothing.
Yeah, totally. And that's definitely, because Alex and I are both doing 325 this semester, we literally, one of the only sort of criteria that we have to meet is it has to address the future. And a lot of people are still struggling with just that idea, which is really interesting because anything addresses the future. You just have to sort of contextualize it in a way that
Yeah,
works.
and that is one of the things I do love about BCM. You can sort of take anything in any direction that you'd like, as long as you can sort of
Like,
back up what you're
tie
talking
it back.
about.
Yeah.
But it can be quite tenuous from what I've seen. You know,
Yeah.
you can get away with a fair bit. So
Yeah.
I'd say talk with your tutor about it,
Mm.
and you know, if you have an idea that seems a bit left field, you might be able to pull it off. You know, they're quite flexible.
Yeah, the more left field, sort of the better as well.
And this is the only degree I've ever, heard of that actually encourages active failure or actively encourages failure.
Yeah, we love some failure.
It's odd, because I've done digital artifacts that I thought in the end were like quite shit.
Yeah,
But
same.
what it comes down to is that you iterated through that process. The one I'm doing now, it would never sell, but what
I
I'm
don't know that.
yeah,
I'd buy
I'd buy
it
it.
needed a lot
Yeah.
more polishing before
Yeah.
I could sell it. But
Yeah.
the marks don't come from how polished it is. It comes from what you learnt and how you developed that, getting to that point you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my DA for 206 relied heavily on participation, and not that many people participated in it. But I still did okay at the end because I was able to demonstrate my learning in that, and how I got to that process.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not going to do that again
No.
because people won't participate
Yeah.
unless they have a reason.
Exactly.
Or they're on a hype train.
So
But
being
that's-
able to reflect on that is
Yeah.
a massive part of the successful digital
Yeah.
and
artifacts.
a big part of starting this club, because
Oh.
Yeah.
people won't come if there's no motivator to
Yeah.
like, why would you do something if there's
Yeah,
no
and we
reason?
like.
Yeah.
I keep saying in my DA for this semester, because it is based around my involvement in the club. Like we rely on feedback. We've always relied on feedback, and we need people to participate in that. And that's really hard because you can't give someone else the motivation.
The
to
most harmful feedback you can give someone is nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. No, definitely. Ah,
Next question?
next question. There's a couple.
Okay.
Let's have a mean one.
Okay.
Should we do Meg's one?
Well, okay. So we've got arguments for and against Corey getting back in the house. We've got,
I'm for
for
it.
me, I've got the correct onion to snag ratio at Bunnings, which I said I cannot comment iron veggie and also have signed a social media policy.
Also, if you drop it on the ground, you might kill someone.
Yeah.
You've got a policy against that. Yeah.
I do like a good amount of onion though. On the
More
I-
than Tony Abbott loves onion.
yeah.
It's all about the condiments because I'm a vegetarian,
Ooh.
so you gotta have tomato sauce and as much onion as possible.
But
And
how do you
white bread.
cook a veggie snag?
You just heat it up, my dude.
This is my problem. Whenever I try to cook a veggie snag, it sticks to the
a
hot plate.
little bit more oil, and you're just warming it up. You're not cooking it. Okay.
So you don't-
Pro tips.
Yeah, about 2 minutes on? Or?
Yeah. Just roll it around. a
Yeah,
little
see,
bit.
because I've left them on there for like half an hour and seen no difference. Obviously, I'm
They
a
look the
terrible
same.
barbecue cook, but
Terrible vegan
Yeah.
cook.
And then Callum's asked, why does DMS use the vaporwave sort of aesthetic, which is pretty interesting.
It's just sick, isn't it?
He's asked because
yeah, look, that's a very top level answer.
We just like
it's
it.
just sick, but
We just like it.
I think
It-
that sort of
that's-
aesthetic.
It's our aesthetic, yeah.
No, it's not ours. It's
We-
definitely
we've-
not ours.
we've-
No,
stolen
we
it.
didn't like invent it, but like it's a part of our persona.
yeah,
Linking to like Chris
I think-
Moore again, that's his.
I think
We're
it's-
presenting ourselves
yeah.
in a way, and that's part of like our branding.
Yeah.
If we want to borrow in a bit more, though, I think that particular that aesthetic,
Yeah.
the what would you call it? Retro wave.
Retro wave,
Retro
vaporwave.
wave. It's
synth,
like
synth
retro
wave,
wave
all that
itself
stuff.
it's described as nostalgia for a time that you never actually experienced,
yeah.
and
I feel like we're living in that time.
Well, getting all
we
symbolistic
keep learning
and-
about the start of the internet and like all this sort of stuff.
Damn.
And no, I'm not mucking around here.
No, but this is full on. Like, I didn't think about this before.
No, but like the genre itself, it's like you look at people like Kavinsky. I don't know if you're familiar with
No.
retro wave, but it's taking like modern ways of approaching these old sounds.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, that's the so
I'd like
true.
to think that's what we do.
Oh yeah, but
It's-
it's amazing that you can symbolistically.
It's the internet club, but we're still like we're an old-fashioned club, right?
Yeah.
But we're very decentralized.
Yeah.
Which is like so much of a benefit to us as well as being like absolutely a detriment as well, because we're like
Yeah.
really having to pave the way with how this
Yeah,
works.
and a
Yeah.
lot of our roles in the exec team, I know, like we still are dedicated to particular roles, But there's so much overlap between us, like
100%.
collaboration-wise.
Yeah.
We don't even have a social media person. We are just all...
Well,
So
we do have an official title, but
Yeah.
It's a title that exists, but there's not a current specific person
Yeah,
that's
So
filling
now
that.
we're even having, like, what we're getting the next AGM, we're going to do a big...
We're going to fill that, hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to do a big rehash and sort of change names, I think.
Yeah,
Callum
we
was
are.
saying.
Yeah.
Just
Because I
sort
have to
of-
do something different too, so...
Yeah.
But
'cause
whereas
you
my
came out here.
involvement isn't going to change all that much at all.
No.
So that's a great thing about it.
yeah, well, like, I can't say I'm much of a great events exec, but, like, I participate all the time.
Yeah,
It's sort of-
100%. Every day.
That's important.
Are we
That's
sinking to the
important.
point where we have, like, anomalous roles? If that
Basically,
makes sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if push comes to shove, Callum's the president. You know, he can fill
He'll
that
happily step up.
if he has to.
He'll cop it.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, thankfully we haven't had to worry about this yet, but say if, like, you know, he wasn't able to do something, you know, he was away or something, and Meg,
Yeah.
you'd think would fill in.
Yeah, and Meg has, yeah.
And then, you know, when I have to do the bank stuff, it just gets done.
The bank stuff. You just do it.
I just do it. So, like,
After you find the password.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god, that's an actual me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't find the password.
Triggered.
Because they linked it to my personal nav account as well.
There has to be a better way.
dangerous.
Well, the card that I've got has a different ID login.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, I think we've...
stepping away from that.
We've covered a lot of ground here. I'm feeling very pumped up.
Do we have any other questions?
Final questions. Scroll. Nah, it's literally just...
Okay, is there any other main questions?
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
if it's
okay.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What's
Yeah.
your take on every YouTuber getting cancelled?
Oh, that's
I
actually...
could actually talk on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not
It's
a
like a
dumb
serious
question.
thing.
Sorry,
That's
I
a
know
good
you want to go home, Kelsey.
No,
but-
no.
It
it's
is...
just-
It
What
is
if we-
8 o'clock and we are still sitting in building 25, so yeah.
and no one believes that we're still recording a podcast.
Yeah. No, that's a good question.
No one's listening at this point either, but hey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are we?
we're
Hour
having
and
fun,
a
so-
half? Hour and 20? Hour?
Nearly 2.
1 hour 40.
Yeah.
Oof.
What are our thoughts on every YouTuber getting cancelled?
I can give mine pretty briefly. Like,
Okay.
I think it's all about getting them views. It's all about that idea that you can call someone else, call someone out and spill the tea, and then get the traction. Like, make them lose followers, and then you gain followers, and then at the end of the day, like, they all just go back to doing whatever the heck they
Yeah.
were doing in the first place. That's just my take.
But then
All about
again,
the views.
there are other instances of this happening where it's actually a thing. For example, KSI
Yep.
and his brother
Yep.
are actually going through stuff. Because at the moment they're beefing. They're brothers and they're beefing.
yeah.
Like Logan Paul and Jake Paul?
Well, that's they fought. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but...
But was that a
Was it
conspiracy
real?
to get
Yeah.
more clicks? Is what she's...
Oh.
Your one sounds genuine, right?
Oh yeah, well no, I know that KSI and Logan Paul genuinely don't like each other, whereas Jake Paul and Deji was more like
No,
for
but
the
Jake
fight.
Paul and Logan Paul.
Oh, them two.
Yeah, their whole
They're-
thing is just like a...
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you meant about like the whole KSI.
That's
No,
really
no,
faction,
like-
I would say.
Yeah.
But
That-
I'm not
yeah.
familiar with YouTubers. But
Yeah.
This KSI fella, yeah?
Yeah. So he's the British guy.
The footy guy?
Soccer,
Football.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately, Australia calls it soccer, yeah. Yeah, well, not anymore, actually. It's just more... He's got like 20 mil subs. And then his brother has 10 mil. So, but yeah, they're beefing at the moment because they had a big falling out where KSI's cameraman, or he's basically his business partner now, but he called Deji out, and KSI didn't back his brother up, he backed his mate up instead. So they started having beef about that, and then things got to the point where like they were having like situations like at home with their parents, like getting in the middle of bickering and stuff like that.
Moderation, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it got to the point where like on Christmas, when they came home to the family's house, to the parents' house for Christmas, they fought about that and they didn't end up having Christmas together. But it was kind of framed in a way where KSI said that Deji was full on like psycho about the whole situation, and you know he retaliated and it was his fault. But then Deji just kind of made a video, you know, the apology video, the sorry video, whatever. But it was like so different dynamic to all the other ones I've seen.
Yeah, well, that's from what I hear with, what's his name? That recent bloke.
James Charles.
Yeah.
I love how you
Like-
just... you
Did he?
just
Did he?
made me-
I didn't watch the video, but did he cry?
Which
no,
one?
but my point is,
Yeah.
from everyone has a different story, right? And
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
frames their thing a different way. And
Yeah.
you can have proof and stuff.
Yeah.
But even going back to
The
like
receipts.
Taylor Swift and Kanye beefing over
Yeah.
the snake thing,
Yeah.
where there was the phone call,
Yeah.
or you can make all these stories, and
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
in the end, some people are going to believe you no matter
Oh,
what you say,
100%,
and
yeah.
some people aren't.
100%.
Yeah.
People are getting, I don't know, their livelihoods destroyed. Not so much in the YouTuber scene, because I know
Yeah.
they thrive off beef.
Yeah.
But if we look at someone like James Gunn, I don't know if you're familiar with that situation.
No.
He's the guy who directed Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And he made a few distasteful jokes on
Oh, it was
Twitter
like ages
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
And
He got boycotted a little bit for it.
yes,
Yeah.
a bunch of people, I believe, from 4chan.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
What is
but-
it? I can't get on there.
But someone in the swarm decided to focus on him, right, and
Yeah.
bring that up, and then they brought that to the Disney overlords, and then Disney's like, well, we can't have this man directing our children's movies,
Yeah.
and obviously he got dropped.
Yeah, well, that's happened multiple times. You got that
Yeah,
politicians, music.
There's
Buzz,
a real witch hunt. It enables witch hunts, let's say.
Yeah.
Do you think
And-
like if legislation would like sort of come
Well,
up and
you
back
can't stop
up?
that with legislation, can you?
Well,
Like,
No.
let's comes back to the Facebook
It's-
thing.
yeah.
Like your social media profile. Like, is it would a
that
legislation
can't-
be around discrimination? Because like technically,
yeah.
what you put on the internet isn't your word of mouth or like whatever. Like, is that another
But
discourse in itself?
Weren't the things he was saying actually bad though?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to undermine that.
I'm not actually sure. I haven't read the tweets.
Yeah.
But
But in the
his
sense
defense was that he's changed, you know. And
Yeah, exactly.
It was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
But could he
But who-
delete
there was
them and
The
stuff?
YouTuber,
But you
the
don't
one that
tw-
made the
Do
crying
you delete
ones about.
tweets? Is that a thing?
You
Like-
can delete them, but you don't
No,
think
but like
about
in
doing
general,
it.
yeah, because
You don't think of
people,
doing it.
I don't know, the average Twitter user fires off like
Hundreds and
5 a day
hundreds.
at
Yeah,
least.
hundreds.
Yeah.
In total, total
like,
amount. So you
Depends if you're applying for a job or not.
I think it's very contextual whether you want a witch hunt or like whether you can justify that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because on one note, it's easier than ever to call out scumbags for their behaviour.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know,
It's
if
easy
you're
to-
calling
yeah.
out, we're going to have the next generation of politicians is going to have a lot of problems. There was that dude in the Greens who was like,
Yeah.
he was, I forget what it was, but it was something dumb.
Yeah.
Something real dumb.
Very dumb.
And, if you don't have a clean social media footprint and you haven't professionally scrubbed it, like
Yeah.
people can still dig things up using Wayback Machine,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's either going to become a lot more commonplace and this problem won't exist anymore,
Mhm.
or it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
And then, people are just going to be basing all their arguments off the character of the other person.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's what's been happening with this whole KSI Deji situation. But you wouldn't know about the other point unless the other person brought it up as well.
Mm.
So
Well, that's the
it's-
thing with the James Charles thing. Like,
Yeah.
Tati's initial video was pretty much just calling him out.
Yeah, and you
every
think, oh,
single
wow,
thing that she
like-
thought was bad. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is a
He's
50-minute
so bad.
video. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh. His initial response was crap. He just didn't address anything. He was just...
Sorry.
Yeah, it was just something like a PR would have told him to put out there, have something on the internet so he hasn't left it blank.
But not quite a Kevin Spacey.
No. Yeah. So, but then the follow-up video that she did, she was then just like, oh, why I did it. And then he's come out and put out like a full video. Like, because I think PewDiePie recommended he did like a full structured apology.
Yeah.
But he went through and like followed up every single thing she said. He didn't leave anything unsaid. He admitted his faults and stuff like that. And then from there, he's gone right back up. He's back at 15
Yeah,
or 16
yeah.
million followers and all that stuff. So,
Well, that's what Deji did because he was kind of getting hate because KSI recorded him at one point
Yeah.
when he was home for Christmas, telling him to he needs to get out,
Yeah.
he's not welcome, and there was no context. So everyone thought, oh, Deji's like a
yeah. So,
terrible brother, whatever. But his new video that's come out, he kind of recorded himself as well, and he gave context, and it's because it's
No one's safe.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's because KSI said, I want to when I'm home for Christmas, I want to talk to you about this and sort it out. But apparently, the first thing he did when he came to the house was bang on his door and said, come out. I'm gonna smash your stuff. I'm gonna smash your setup, smash your PC if you don't come out. So there was context then, and it's but then he also gave a big the reason that I brought this up in general is because he ended up kind of backtracking to 2011. And there's this beef only started a couple months ago, but then he's bringing stuff back to 2011. He's like, this is why this is happening, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, like that's a full on.
There's helpful context in it.
Yeah.
It's just literally looking.
Oh
at
yeah,
it.
because they weren't. This wasn't an instance of like them just trying to expose each other. That's what the beef started out as.
Yeah.
But now it's like full on like psychological issues
Yeah.
there, which is kind of scary
Yeah, and I
for
think
like their sake.
the moment you start broadcasting that to a large crowd, every
yeah.
tiny thing gets magnified.
Yeah,
It's like
but it's like you also think like what choice do they have, especially like in
Yeah.
the sense that this beef is like affecting them careers as well. Like what do they do? And that's another thing. Like you were saying originally, like it's because they want to get more views.
Yeah.
But that's what the beef started off as. Like Deji was like he was saying that he was genuinely feeling like upset about stuff, and KSI was like, just don't take it to heart. At the end of the day, it's going to help us grow.
Oh yeah, right.
And then he's like, while that may be, it's affecting me in this way
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, the YouTuber drama thing. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I feel
Yeah.
like everyone hates him apparently whenever you bring him up in any subject, like with
Who?
PewDiePie. Like
James Charles.
no, PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Like just
Yeah.
the drama around him, because obviously he's the
Oh,
top grossing YouTuber.
yeah.
Whatever. But like
Most
the way
subbed,
that
yeah.
things come back at him is a really good example of like what you can and can't do on the internet, and like what's filtered now and what isn't. But then
Yeah.
you have like, you can draw that back to where he's had to stop his meme around subscribe to PewDiePie because of what happened in Christchurch, and that
Yeah.
sort of feedback loop
Oh,
is like,
yeah.
it's a reflection on him, even though he has nothing to do
with that. He didn't tell
with
the
that
dude to do it.
thing.
Yeah.
which is like, I think we can all learn from that. It's the idea that even though like you aren't involved in something, just because you are now on that platform, you can be involved in that. If you're on 4chan, if you're on Reddit, if you're like in that thread, on that forum, in that group that's getting zucked on Facebook or whatever, like you're a part of that group
yeah,
now.
and like saying nothing is also saying something.
yeah.
And so, I'm not sure if it's a similar controversy, but it's the same guy. Him not addressing all the white supremacy stuff is also sending a certain message.
Yeah.
Wait, who? Pewds.
Pewds, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
The fact he's just brushed that under the carpet. Also, you know, not saying something says something, and
Well, I mean, like, yeah.
you can't be in the public sphere and not be able
Address
to
that.
weigh your opinion in. As sad as that sounds, if someone asks a question and you don't answer, that question is guaranteed to, you know, I think it's the Streisand effect, Barbara Streisand. Fun story there, but it's going to blow up. Like, someone notices a chink in the armor,
Yeah.
they will take advantage. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, what was the Kevin Spacey thing?
Kevin, do you remember?
Like, I know-
he apologized, but he said
Didn't he?
He's cancelled.
Didn't he?
he
Blame
was
the victim kind of thing. Or what did he do?
he basically said yeah, but like I was drunk,
Oh, okay.
and that's a very like 101.
It's
don't,
not an-
don't say that.
it's
even,
not an
even if
excuse.
you're that much of an asshole.
but
just
no.
don't.
It's not an excuse.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Jeez.
You know what? I really hate about that. I really like him as an actor.
Well, like,
Now,
He's
oh,
my favorite movie for so long.
Yeah.
All right, this is probably not a good way to finish, but like, my favorite movie for so long was
American Beauty?
No, definitely not. It's kind of disturbing from what I hear, but I haven't seen it.
it's pretty classic, but it is a bit disturbing actually. Continue.
Can you not even remember the
The
name
Usual
of the movie?
Suspects.
Oh, okay.
No, I purged it from my
Usual
mind.
Suspects.
But The Usual
is
Suspects.
so good.
It's one of those caper masterpieces, right?
Oh,
And
how good is it?
now that you've got the context, same with Baby Driver. Now you've got context, it takes on a whole different meaning, like
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
But
Wait, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver.
Oh yeah, because he's in that as well.
Because he plays in Baby Driver. He plays a
crime
guy who
boss.
he takes advantage of a young boy, but like
Oh.
as like
to
a
get him to work for him.
employee. Yeah.
But now with this context, it's like,
Yeah.
what else did he do? It's
Yeah.
like, but
Baby Driver's so good.
That's a good
But
movie.
I love these movies. But
Same,
I
yeah.
can't look at them the same way. And
No.
so-
Usual Suspects though. I thought you were gonna say
It's a
American
good
Beauty, but
movie.
it's so
I
American.
recommend
Usual
Usual
Suspects.
I haven't
It's-
watched
it's
it, sorry.
great.
It's so much better.
It's. I don't want to give too much away,
Nah.
but it's one of those movies.
Like
Okay.
plot twist
Well, it
wise.
ties into Meg's, what's your favourite movie?
Oh, there you go.
Is that yours?
Oh no, there's a lot of favourite
What
movies.
is my...
I like,
I really like Shrek.
it's a winner.
No.
Shrek is a classic.
No,
But Shrek 2 is so underrated.
No.
Shrek 2 is quality. But like, because Shrek 1 is so iconic, no one ever talks about Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is
Shrek 1's
phenomenal.
not even on Netflix. No.
The scene in Shrek 2 when the fairy godmother sings I need a hero.
Yeah.
And then like human Shrek is like riding the huge gingerbread man to like get into the castle, and then like they fire the cannonball.
Laughing gum jabs.
Yeah, and like the big gingerbread man dies in the water, and then
Spoilers.
yeah, if you haven't seen Shrek 2 by now, there's no way. Hey, if Endgame spoiler thing has been lifted,
Yeah,
Shrek
surely
2,
Shrek 2.
Oh, but like when then little gingerbread man like jumps off and he's
No.
it's the most iconic scene in like film history.
I'm so sorry.
I
I
have to
started
agree
that.
on Shrek 1 though. The quotability, like
I-
almost
word for
daily,
word.
daily.
Shrek.
There's Donkey and
Yeah, I'm making waffles.
Eddie Murphy. Oh,
Oh, but I don't really have a favourite movie because I don't watch movies very often.
yeah.
Because who's got time for that? But favourite
Me.
series is Daredevil from the
Ooh.
Marvel Universe on Netflix.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Don't talk to me about it because it's been cancelled. So,
Oh.
but that's my favourite
Mm.
favourite ever.
I understand. I watched the first season. It was pretty good.
Boy, you got to get on that second season.
I don't know if I want to commit to a dead.
Oh, you
A
need to
dead
get
end.
on it.
Just-
You need to
if
get on
it's
it.
dead,
oh my
then you may
gosh.
as well.
I mean, it's about the journey, not the experience. Not
Get-
the destination. But
Yeah.
The
with that
experience.
said, I also want to get to a destination. So
Yeah.
if it's cancelled, I don't know.
No,
No,
it's
but then
so
you can
good.
watch all of it then.
It's so
Now,
good. Okay, sorry. Favourite movie, everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
Or TV series. Slash.
the Intouchables,
Intouchables? Untouchables.
I think it's in.
the French
I
one,
haven't seen it.
the
Oh,
French one.
with
It's one or the other.
Untouchables is one with oh, actually, you might be right.
In the meantime, I'll tell you mine. I
Yeah,
think
Intouchables,
The
the French one.
most suitable one for BCM,
Mhm.
probably, or digital
This
media.
is
Matrix.
this is suitable.
Oh, that's probably a good one.
Oh, yeah.
But TV series,
Uh-huh.
Person of Interest. I watched
Oh.
it years
Uh-huh.
ago, and it's quite interesting.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
Quite interesting.
Oh.
yeah, it's
Person of interest, yeah.
a guy develops basically an AI that
Yeah.
detects whether a crime will be committed by someone,
Oh, that's cool.
and then he sells that black box to the government,
Yeah.
but keeps a back door. And so
Oh, okay.
him and his buddy go out fighting crimes before they happen
Oh,
to
that's
prevent them.
Wait,
That's
is
so
this a
cool.
series?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
basically what's happening now with China's social credit system.
Ah.
Like, it's genuinely
Yeah.
based.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I really rate the way people, things like Mr. Robot, there's a lot of
I love
good
Mr. Robot,
digital
yeah.
media content out there
Oh,
that
yeah.
is very realistic.
This isn't digital media content.
Yeah, the
Untouchables.
Untouchables.
This-
I borrowed the movie, but I never watched it.
But today when I did my tweet about what was everyone's favorite movie in 3 to 5,
Yeah.
Robot and Frank was the one that came out the most.
Yeah.
And the reason I like Robot and Frank so much is because it's basically that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
like about where it's like two unsuspecting friends become friends.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Because
And
the
they support
synopsis
each
of this
other.
one is that there's a really rich guy who's disabled, and he needs a carer, and there's a guy that's just got out of jail who's like been forced to go apply. It's like, you know, one of those, if you don't apply for so many jobs, you can't get like assistance. He goes and applies for it and gets the job and actually like starts being friends with him.
That's
It's
cute.
wholesome, but it's like the greatest movie I've ever seen. Like, there's
There's
no,
sad bits.
It's like really
Does
sad,
one of them
isn't
die
it?
at the end?
No, no.
Don't tell me. I know.
I don't want to
Sunny
spoil
words
it,
for
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but like,
I don't want the dog to die.
there's no,
That's the worst. I watched Archie once. Don't watch Archie.
yeah, no,
watch
dog
Archie.
to die, no. There's no dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't find a fault in that movie
Woo!
ever. Like it's the only
cool,
movie
pretty
that I've ever
cool.
watched that I would consider like perfect. There's like nothing wrong. So that's my favorite
Love
movie
that.
ever. But
Yeah, alright.
the 325 screenings have definitely opened my eyes to some
Hell
diamonds and
yeah.
graph. I'd never seen any of the movies in that. Never.
Matrix?
Never seen Matrix before.
You hadn't seen
Yeah.
iRobot.
That's the only one.
Oh,
But
okay.
the only reason I said that is because it wasn't on the Moodle.
Ah.
Yeah, it was a surprise screening. That's the only one I had seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is one of my favorites. So
Yeah. All right. Well,
that was a
wrap
good.
it up
That was a
here.
good way to
Yeah.
end up. Positive way to end
positive
off.
way up.
Movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've made it this far,
We're
unlikely.
sorry. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, thank you for listening. We hope you join us in the future iterations of BCM and Digital Media Society podcast.
We promise we'll get better.
Hell yeah.
Yep. If any of you'd like to come on the podcast and have a chat, drop us a line on Twitter.
Or just ask us some damn questions.
Ask some questions. Topics, give us some topics to talk about. We want to do a few more of these over the break and into next semester as well. With that, I think that's everything, you know. Thanks for listening and see you online.
You.